What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Let me do a quick sound check. Quick sound check. All right. We are in the building. We are in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. I see it was a lot of comments. Shout out to Sir Tice. We'll be touching on that one right there. He says colorism does not exist. It's just more made up BS that people perpetuate. I do agree with that statement. But I heard an original argument this morning. So I'm going to explore that. I'm going to explore an original argument I heard as to how colorism actually does affect Black men in a way that we don't realize it, and why we need to stop criticizing Black women when they talk their junk about colorism or whatever, or blah, 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 because they're saying it's bigger than just complaining about boys not liking them. It's bigger than that. And we need to see the bigger picture and how it goes full circle and affects us. I kind of gave the teaser trailer to it in the thumbnail. I don't know if I communicated it artfully, but the teaser trailer ultimately is that a lot of the racial disparities or racism or all the stuff that Black men face, getting pulled over by the cops and not knowing what's going to happen, all of that is because of that's an extension of colorism and featureism. That was essentially the argument. That was how it affects the Black man. So they're complaining about not being liked by boys, but for you it's a bigger fight. That's the argument. For you it's a bigger fight. But we go to get into that. We go to break all of that down, and yeah, that's the show. So let's get excuse me. Let's get on into it. Strap on in. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your Black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's up and what's going on? What is up and what's going on, good people? Shout out to each and every one of you on this wonderful Friday. Hood Server says, I got a great topic for tomorrow. Well, no, this is the one that caught my eye. Said colorism. The fuck? Yeah. You might like this one, though. I heard an interesting argument that I don't agree with, but it was just interesting. I never heard it put this way when it comes to colorism. So we shall see. But no, I'm definitely eager to hear what you got for tomorrow. But yeah, so we gotta get into this topic. I gave the teaser trailer, when in the pre-intro ramble of how someone made a case how colorism affects black men in a way that we ultimately don't realize. And I was like, okay, all right. I wasn't going, but I think it sparks a good conversation. I can't get in the car and ride with where the young lady took it, but it was an interesting argument. It was an interesting argument that's worthy of a discussion. Worthy of a discussion. But be that as it may, let me shout out the Early Bird Squad, those that make it in bright and early. Drop a comment, hopefully a like before we even get things started. Those that make it in bright and early, drop a comment and hopefully a like before we even get things started. Game Changer just sent me something. I don't know if it's relevant to the show, but he typically don't send me stuff while I'm on the air. So that prompts me to, okay, this ain't got shit to do with the show. It's a YouTube link. Oh, okay. All right. I had to check. I had to see if it was relevant to the show. All right. Shout out to Sir Ties in the building. Says colorism does not exist. It's just more made up BS people perpetuate. I do think that that's true. I do think it's an attempt to politicize or socialize aspects of the dating market. I think that's what it is an attempt to do. But someone made an argument that went somewhere else. SKC says this sounds like some Kim Foster stuff. I don't know who Kim Foster is. I do not know who Kim Foster is, but shout out to Little Rock in the building. Shout out to you. Shout out to KG in the building. Shout out to Long Tongue Sung in the building. Says happy St. Patrick's Day. I didn't know it was St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is one of those days I don't know it's St. Patrick's Day until I wake up on St. Patrick's Day and somebody tell me it's St. Patrick's Day. But thank you very much for that. If you're lighter than a paper bag, the Genesis on me. Oh, wow. Wow. KG in the building says, I think I might have to have a black and tan today. Should call them up now. Huh? Black and tan. All right, this is a comment I wanted to make it too. It looked like Queen Q had a lot to say on this. I like when black women of darker complexion give their thoughts on the colorism topic. I do like when they come in my chat room and give their perspective. So shout out to Queen Q. It says, I think that colorism does affect men, but I think that it depends on the industry of which you work. I believe that is mostly where men would deal with the effects of colorism. That is a portion of the argument that I'm going to play out when I play the video. That what you just said right there is a piece of the argument. Is a piece of the argument that I'm going to play out, pick apart, refute, and whatnot. And we'll see where some potential common ground and agreement could be. Oh, Queen, could you drop too many damn comments? Okay, I'll read one more to get into the show. It says, for men, I do believe it is a bit different. For men, I do believe it is a bit different, simply because society does not place value on you because of your what is that? Looks versus what you produce. Although there can be an argument being made that women are. Now, right there, you just touched on what the argument in the video that I play is going to make. It was an argument that colorism and featureism is having an effect on what black men can produce. It's having an effect on them getting jobs, getting loans, getting a criminal record, and all of those things ultimately end up affecting your ability to maneuver as a man, just like they're black women being viewed as not as attractive because they have darker skin or certain African features. I'll just say, it's so many different features in Africa. You go to one country or one place in Africa, you see different features. You go to a different tribe. It's different tribes have different features, let alone regions and countries. So it's hard to just say African features in some broad way. That's a Black American thing, but basically the argument is the African features that Black women have. Yes, that's the darker skin and the nose and all of that, the hair. Yeah, that's stopping them from moving up in woman world, where beauty is the currency. Well, the argument is that our nappy hair, our nose, and our dark skin is affecting our ability to maneuver in man world, where what you can produce is the currency, because your dark skin and your big nose and your nappy hair. That's why the police is looking at that. They arrest you. You got a record. You can't move up through the world. You go in the interview with the dark skin and the big nose and all of that, the nappy hair, and you can't get that job. So it's affecting how you produce. So that was the argument, essentially. Colorism is affecting your ability to produce. So Black men need to hop on board. And support Black women in their fight against colorism, because we help them, it's going to help us too. We need to end it at all levels. That's the argument. So we're gonna dig into that one. We're gonna roll a video clip. I don't know if that music's still playing because I can't hear it. You can cut the music before I dive right into the main topic. But thank you for that comment, Queen Q. You prompted me perfectly to speak to the core topic here. I put the right mix of cream in that coffee. That was pretty good. All right. What are we? Where we at? One second. All right. A few things to get into before we tackle the main topic, even though I'm pulling it up right now. I'm getting it ready for you, pulling it up right now. Michael Irvin, the video came out that completely exonerated Michael Irvin. I didn't do content on it. A lot of people covered it. I know Anton did. Anton Daniels covered it. A lot of people covered it. I didn't get to do full. I would have did it yesterday, but I didn't go in the air yesterday. But Michael Irvin, the video pretty much exonerated him. You could tell they just had a very casual, friendly conversation that ended with a handshake. Now, he could have said something real nasty during that handshake, but I mean, come on. He could come on. I mean, the man got escorted off the premises. Like, come on. So Michael Irvin was exonerated. That's a good thing in this meet. I hate that he went through everything that he had to go through. He lost an opportunity to make a little dough on the Super Bowl. His reputation took a hit. But I'm glad when things get exposed. I'm glad when men get publicly exonerated. I'm glad when it's put on blast that the degree in which they will just make something up. And yes, that crosses all racial lines. There's no segregation line. It crosses all racial lines when it comes to just women making stuff up and charging men up and playing that woman card. It does. So I am glad about that. I am glad that Michael Irvin, stood in it, fought the fight, cleared his name. Excellent. Definitely glad about that. One more thing that I'll touch on. This isn't worth a whole story. This right here. This isn't worth a whole story. I mean, a whole show on this. Wait, that's not it. That's the thumbnail. I'm trying to find something else. Here we go. I'm trying to find something else. I'll be remiss if I didn't just touch on this and laugh at it a little bit. This is, y'all remember Simone Biles, right? Simone Biles, the Olympian who quit on her team. One of the One of the best since like Dominique Dawes and that whole little generation. She was one of the best since then. She recently is on Twitter, on the Twitter, said, "I just checked my credit card statement. I need a sugar daddy, LMAO." And then she put down there at the bottom that don't need no sugar. Like, now we can take this one tongue in cheek, you know. Sometimes I guess endorsements run dry. Olympians, most of them make money in seasons. Maybe she's hard up for cash. Either way it go, it's like it's certain celebrities where I just don't understand why their friends and people that love them don't just confiscate their phone. Like how does she actually sit there and post this and not think that it is a bad look? Not think that it's a bad look. But you said, just check my credit card statement. I need a sugar daddy. LMAO. LMAO. But it don't need no sugar. they just be they just be they be no, she's not married. She was dating a guy. I don't know if she married or not. I just saw that this morning and it was freaking funny. It was freaking funny. Had to had to put it on the jumbotron. Had to put it on the jumbotron. You can't make this up. Can't make this up. But as far as I know, she's not married. If she's married, then that's even worse. If she's married, that even look worse. But I understand that people who be winning in the Olympics, they don't be always making good money. Sometimes they can get some endorsements, and sometimes them endorsements may last for a season. They may get a big lump sum. They may get $300,000 from Wheaties. Yeah, that be gone real fast. They might get $1 million from Wheaties. Shoot, people be running through millions real fast. Like like people be running through millions real fast. And then when that Olympic career over, yeah, some of them Olympians who we've seen on the cover on Wheaties boxes and all kind of stuff like that, yeah, they be on struggle mode. They be on struggle mode. But we're about to pull up the main topic here. Should black men care about colorism? This is from the YouTube channel For Harriet. I don't know that much about it. I've heard it mentioned. I don't know nothing about the lady here in the video. No attack on her. I don't even know her name. Not an attack on her. Don't even know her name. I just want to have a discussion about the concepts. Have a discussion about the concepts. That's it. That's it. That's what we do here. We attack ideas and not people. We attack ideas and not people. I make it a point to not even learn the name sometimes of the person. If I'm reviewing a video of somebody, I don't even want to know their name. I don't want I don't even RM said I think it's Harriet. No, the channel is called For Harriet. So I think it's a tribute to someone named Harriet, but the individual who does the channel, I don't know the person's name. I attack the ideas and not the people. And the concepts that was laid out in this video are concepts that we're going to have a discussion about once I get done. Once I get done. So let's strap on in. Let's get it.
It is fucking crazy.
Whoa, I missed the beginning of the video. I didn't know she started out like that. She came in hot. I didn't even realize that. I think sometimes YouTube will like play the first part of the video without I mean, oh, I know what it is. I skipped that little intro. So I missed how she came in hot. I missed how she came in hot.
that Black men would be upset about Black women or deride Black women or mock Black women for our discussions of colorism, featureism, texturism, when they are also victims of those things. It is wild to me that Black men with platforms, Black men with microphones use that shit to make fun of women for saying that these vectors of inequity are making my life bad.
Black men with microphones. I think she's talking about me, but no, but no, she's clearly taking a shot at the Black manosphere, or by extension, just any Black men on YouTube giving their opinion on things that she disagrees with, like colorism, featureism, texturism. She said vectors of inequity. Vectors of inequity. Okay. I gave the teaser trailer of how she's going to argue that all the discrepancies or differences when you look at the difference between Black men and white men, in terms of earnings and all of that. She's going to make that like okay, you can argue that, she said, I think she used the term vectors of inequity. You can talk about vectors of inequity when you're talking about that. I think you legitimately can, even though I don't buy every one of the arguments. I think she does, but I don't buy every one of the arguments. When you do a multivariate analysis on certain things, you find out that race isn't the only, or isn't even the primary reason why there's a disparity. You find out there are other things, like I always say, I always bang the drum that it's culture. But that aside, people having a preference, that magical word now that they hate, people having a preference for lighter skin, straighter hair, a more narrow nose. I don't know that those are vectors of inequity that that's keeping people that's keeping Black women from thriving. It may stop them from not getting, it may prevent them from getting the boy that they like, but I don't think it's stopping them from thriving. And I've said it a million times. Go watch any commercial. You're going to see a Black woman with natural hair in a relationship or marriage with a non-Black man. So it's like the larger non-Black part of the country is the people who pull the levers. The people who pull the levers are doing, I would say, a better job than Black women to normalize the texture of their hair and their features and their color, to make it normal and more socially accepted. I would say that they're doing a better job than Black women at that. So that, again, that's so I don't think it's stopping them from achieving anything. And she's going to lay out the case that it's stopping Black men from achieving something, and that's why we should care about their fight, because they're fighting to just, to be just viewed as more attractive. And I understand that, because they're women, and women want to be viewed as more attractive. Men want to make more money. Women want to be viewed as more attractive. I get it. But they're saying we should join their fight, because helping them win their fight to be viewed more attractive, that would help us not be viewed as scary to the general world. That's our argument. And so when I open it up, I do want to like have a more focused conversation on that if we can. Do want to have a more focused conversation on that if we can.
When they also suffer because of those vectors of inequity. Discussions about colorism, featureism, texturism are not just individual indictments of the men we desire to be in partnership.
I think that's about 90% of it. I seriously think that's about 90% of it. Yeah. I'm going through my mind trying to think. Like I said, I think a lot is being done to make sure that bias isn't being used when somebody has natural hair versus straight hair. Like, again, go watch any commercial, you're going to see a black woman with natural hair. Like, again, the mainstream society, the white society, the larger society, whatever you want to call it, again, they're going out their way to promote. They're going out their way to promote darker skinned women with natural hair. Going out their way to promote it. I don't think it's stopping anything. I really don't think it's stopping anything. I'm open to be convinced otherwise, but I really don't think that is preventing anything. Everybody has it in the back of their mind that black women are these industrious, hardworking, most educated, thriving, chasing the American dream. They got, the Black Girl Magic Parade. Everybody has that in their head, even though, we can look at the data and see that a lot of that's not true. Obviously, they're not the most educated, and we debunked a lot of that. But the fact of the matter is, they do have pretty good press. Pretty good press when it comes to that. So, they have like the best publicists on earth, really. I mean, so I'm not buying that, but let's go.
No. We have enough data, the data that y'all aren't reading because you don't know how to interpret it. We have enough.
That's another thing that she does a lot of. She accuses the men who have brought data into the conversation as people who don't know how to interpret the data, because y'all are not even educated, but we are. I said it once, I said it again. It's Asian women, Asian men, white women, white men, black women, black men, Hispanic Latino women, Hispanic men. That's pretty much the order. That's pretty much the order of things. When you look at education, Asian women, white women, black women, Hispanic Latino women. Look at education, Asian men, white men, black men, Hispanic Latino men. Every man falls right in the same order and group and level and layer of educational strata as their women. But however, they're educated, so they can read and interpret the data. And her argument is that black men online with microphones do not understand or cannot interpret or decipher the data that they're having these discussions about. That's a very peculiar argument, because before black men came to the discussion with these microphones that she said, these black men with microphones, before we came to the discussion, there was no data in the discussion. It was all feels. It was all feels. I feel like, I think, what I feel, and my truth. When black men, some 5 to 10 years ago, some people would say before that, but I start counting at about 2015. So when black men came into these discussions, that's when data came into the discussion. That's when everybody became familiar. That's when blackdemographics.com became a household name. So they can't then claim to be the data experts when they had the floor to themselves and no data was in the discussion. But data came into the discussion when black men entered the discussion. So to dismiss it, it's like, nah, not. I don't think that one works. But she's getting into the main part of the argument here. She's getting into the main part of the argument here. This is what she's about to say now. This is why we are all gathered here today. This is why we are all gathered here today, because I do want to explore this one.
The data that y'all aren't reading because you don't know how to interpret it. We have enough data to know that colorism, featureism, texturism impact your interactions with the criminal legal system, your interactions with the carceral state, whether or not you get approved for an apartment, a home loan, whether or not your teachers like you in the classroom. Are y'all so small-minded that you can only point the finger to make fun at black women for saying, hey, these beauty standards, they actually fucking suck. Without taking a step back to say, hey, those beauty standards that Black women are being crushed under. Hey, I'm a Black person in a Black body. So am I also being impacted by the fact that people think dark skin is ugly? Am I also, as a Black man, being impacted by the fact that people think my kinky hair, that says that I am lower status, lower class? Oh, every time I'm stopped by a police officer, is he actually making inferences and conclusions about who I am and my suspected criminality because of the body that I show up in? Why don't we see these men with these platforms exploring that? You'd rather spend your time crying about someone indicting the fact that you only follow light-skinned women on Instagram. That's where you'd rather put your energy into.
All right. So that was essentially the argument. Shut up, Hood. Don't be giving away my. That's exactly where I was going. Now, you can see how when you listen to them talk about this and describe it, you can see that the point. Excuse me. Okay, sorry, I was reading something back. You can see how when they talk about it, you can see how it is mostly about it is mostly about the not being able to get the boy that likes them, to the point to where they're being crushed by beauty standards. So when you explore what that means, getting crushed by beauty standards, now in the in the competition amongst women, it's like so it's like it's a clear admission that they're the least chosen, they're the least liked. I'm like that's just a clear, blunt, brute fact of reality, to the point to where it's like a national crisis. It's a state of emergency that people view Black women, for whatever reason, they view them less attractive, but to the point to where they're being crushed by beauty standards. They're being crushed by that. They're talking about beauty standards as if it's a crime being committed against them. And she's making the comparison that the beauty standard thing, and I've said on the show before, and we've had some debate about this, that I do have a preference. I don't exclude anything, but I have to have three preferences. One of them is darker skinned Black women. One of them is a little bitty Asian women that barely speak English. Kind of got a thing for that too. And gingers with freckles and green eyes. All right, but anyway, so I got two preferences, but one of them does include dark skinned Black women. One of them does include that. But either way it go, they're getting crushed by most men's preference or beauty standards. I did a real good stream with Shay Sade a while, and it was okay. And okay, there's a European beauty standard. There's a white beauty standard. Okay, what is the Black beauty standard? What is the African? What is that? The African? If there's a Euro beauty standard, there's an Afro beauty standard, right? Okay, what is that? She did some research and made a really good video. And I was like, well, so we came on and we talked about it and had a real good discussion. And what you find out is that a lot of them, even when we apply a more Afrocentric beauty standard, a lot of them didn't make the cut either by an Afrocentric beauty standard. So this is where we're at with it, and this is what I have come to. Even though I say, when you look at all of those inequities that Black men face, I think when you do a multivariate analysis on it, you find out that race is a lot of times not the biggest factor. Sometimes you may find out that it's not a factor. Sometimes you may find out that it is a factor, but it's not necessarily the biggest factor. But even if I take the 100%, take our argument whole hog, every inequity and discrepancy that's happening between with black men is connected to the same thing that they're talking about when they're talking about beauty standards, featureism, texturism, colorism, and how that negatively affects them. How that negatively affects them. But when you flip the same thing around, yes, that is also negatively affecting black men from thriving in the world where we're measured by what we produce, because they're looking at our hair, our skin, and our features as a problem, as dangerous, and that's holding us back. And that's why so many black men got criminal records, and you get criminal record, and then you can't you can't get as good of a job, you can't compete out there, and blah 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 blah. The whole works. The whole works. We know the story. We know the story. We know how it works. Even if I fully whole hog accept her argument that because of texturism, featureism, and colorism, we're getting hunted every day, like LeBron James said. We're getting killed, we're getting shot down in the streets every day because of that. All right. So because of that, we need to support them in their pursuit, because they're getting crushed by colorism, crushed by these beauty standards that's preventing them from getting the boy that they like. Now let's compare and contrast. Colorism, texturism, featureism on one hand, per the argument. This is even if I accept her argument. Colorism, texturism, featureism on one hand is preventing black men from living a life and not being killed, living a life and not being incarcerated. It's affecting life and freedom. And if you somehow manage to not be killed and you somehow manage to not get locked up, it's affecting your ability to even thrive and get a job and earn money and take care of yourself and take care of your family. It's affecting all of that. Like, that's everything. Like, you are rock bottom if your life is in jeopardy, your freedom is in jeopardy, and then, or if you got your life and your freedom, your ability to thrive is in jeopardy because of colorism, featureism, texturism. And so she's saying that we need to get in line with them or behind them in their fight. Make sure you're starring all the super chats, Ariane. Make sure you're starring all the super chats. Okay, I got to come back to them. We need to get in line behind them and fight. We need to get in line behind them and fight. Now, let's see how that fight looks. When one person is fighting for the ability to live and to not be locked up, or to or just the ability to thrive if you somehow can hurdle the first two things. That's the argument. And their fight that they're getting crushed, they're getting crushed by colorism or beauty standard, is just to get the boy that they like to like them. Like, that's like one person. I mean, that's almost like two people standing in line. That's like two people standing in line. One person is starving to death. They're standing in line to get some food. You got a group of people starving to death, but then you got one person standing in that same line, and they're just pissed because when they went to Starbucks, their caramel macchiato wasn't made correctly. It didn't have enough drops of it didn't have enough drops of caramel in it, and she's pissed, and she's being crushed because her Starbucks wasn't made correctly. But she's standing in line, trying to standing in line in front of people who's starving to death, waiting for food. It's like, even if we accept her premise, it is a ridiculous, fucked up argument. It is a ridiculous, fucked up argument to say that all the racial discrepancies or differences between. He said that's my favorite, the caramel macchiato thing. I don't even know what them things are called. I call them shit. I call all of them shit lattes, because if you're lactose intolerant like me, you have to shit a lot after you drink them. So okay, y'all got it. Shit lattes. That's what I call them. But anyway, non-dairy creamer in non-dairy creamer in my coffee right here. Non-dairy creamer in my coffee. But that's the argument. Follow the argument to its logical conclusion. That is essentially what's being said. That is essentially what's being argued. Fight your battle to catch up in this country is rooted in our battle of featureism, colorism, texturism that's stopping us from getting the boy that we like. Now, let's also go this route with it. And I can actually respect this route because for a woman, being viewed as beautiful is every bit as important to her as us being able to thrive and produce. But once she admits that, then she's admitting other facets of what the manosphere, Black manosphere, says that I'm sure she will agree with and disagree with in another conversation. She's admitting that it's right. She's admitting that the chauvinistic thought that a woman is measured by her beauty is accurate. If her being viewed as top of the top when it comes to beauty standards is equal up there with us not getting shot by the police. If those two things are in the same boat, even just a little bit, she's essentially admitting that a woman's value is measured based off how she looks when she stands butt naked in front of a mirror. She's basically admitting that. She's conceding that argument. I haven't sat there and watched all her content. Like I said, I don't research people when I do a reaction to something. I just react directly to what's in front of me. I just react directly to the words coming out of her mouth. But I scrolled down and I could tell, okay, she was no fan of Kevin Samuels. I hate to criticize somebody based off video titles, but I saw what did I see? I saw one that said something like Bill Cosby is free. Now what? Why is Felicia Rashad supporting him? T.I. is, I forgot what she called T.I., a really bad word. So I mean, it's a lot of videos where I can see just scan the titles and tell that she's critical of Black men. But it was also a video title that said Lil Nas X is brilliant. Now, be that, I'm just going to set that right there. So needless to say, I'm just throwing out that there's a lot of Black manosphere concepts, i.e. the one that I just spoke of, that I know she would have major disagreement with if a woman's value is somehow measured by her looks. But the fact that she thinks that based off her argument, the only logical conclusion that I can make is that she this is quite a few unstarred super chats. It's quite a few unstarred super chats. Based off her argument, you would have to conclude that she puts a woman being viewed as beautiful up there with a man's ability to thrive, produce, and his freedom, his life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and ability to provide, produce, and make money and not be shot by the cops. If she's putting it all the way up there, then she's conceding. It's like when you listen to them talk, they don't realize they will concede. They concede points that they in another breath will call chauvinism. They concede points that in another breath they would call chauvinism, because she's essentially conceding that whole hog through and through that yeah, that's what we. Hold on real quick. You saying you starred all of them? Clue, Jackie's, Jules, no one. Wow. Okay, something is going wrong. Something is going wrong here. I don't know why. Okay, we got to figure that out. Because when you star them, then they don't pop up on my end. But if they're starred on your end in the back, all right, start clicking on the super chat. So let me read the super chats, play the rest of the tape, and then we're going to open this thing up. Go ahead and can you click on them? Okay, well, just hold up. Yeah, they just click on them. Just click on them so they can appear on the screen so I can read them. Because I don't got them. Shout out to everybody that's supporting the stream. Appreciate each and every one of you. Oh, and shout out to Joe Ethereum. Sent me a $100 Cash App when I was off the air. Make a banner for him. He's today's show's sponsor. But But for now, shout out to Damn. That's his name. Damn. As a sister who could pass, me looking white was the biggest deterrent for my dark skinned husband. Wow. I don't think black men want white women because look at history, Rosewood. Okay, you lost me on that one. You don't think black men want white women because look at history, Rosewood, Tulsa, Bill Cosby. No mobs of white men are coming prying white women out of the arms of black men. That's not a thing. I mean, I don't think as many black men want white women as one would lead us to believe. I don't think that's the case, but I don't think Rosewood in Tulsa has anything to do with that. I think so. So yeah. So I can't go with you on that argument. But thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. See, if we follow your argument to this logical conclusion, you to some degree just acknowledge that they want white women, but they're scared of the white mob. So that's why he got a woman that was as close to white as possible. I can't get a white woman. I'm gonna get one that pass. The mob show up. It's like, no, one drop, remember, one drop. that's what you start to do. But the Clue Channel in the building said she got 5. Oh, see, I didn't even notice. It said she got 5 hit. Said she got 5 hit. Man, cut it out. Pull up the next one. Yeah, thank you. He said, Jockey's Retro in the building says, the darker you are, the more white people like you. I don't know if that's true. But I don't think they care as much. There's a certain type of look. Like if you have a look that's associated, if you have a look that's associated with criminal behavior, to just put it mildly, I don't think okay, the way that I look right now, I got on a little blazer and a V-neck and fairly, beard lined up a little bit. I actually cut my hair this morning. I'm a little just like, fresh haircut. If you got a certain look, they don't look at you any different. But if you show up dressed like a thug, people are going to look at you different. Just like I'm going to look at a white dude different if he got neck tattoos and some weird, some weird spiky hair or some stuff. I'm not hiring him. Like, no, you don't look. I mean, perhaps if it's like an IT job and he got a resume, I'm like, okay, he know how to do the job. He can work behind the desk, whatever. Go on and, work from home. It's like, I don't want to see you. but so if it's something like that, but overall, yeah, if you have to be a part of the public face of my company and represent it, and people who may potentially do business with me are going to see you and you look like that, then no, I got an issue with that. So yeah, but no, the look that I have right now, I don't think it's an issue. Even if I grew out just like a little afro. Now, if I grew out a big wild Ben Wallace fro, and I think even in a black ran company, somebody showing up to a professional company with a Ben Wallace afro, yeah, that's not the look, bruh. That's not the look. Edge that shit up, taper it up on the sides, line it up, and shape it. Go with like the little microphone look, but don't just have a wild afro, Just like white guys in corporate America, they can't show up with wild hippie hair. Maybe things have changed, but it was a wild where they had to cut their hair too. So no, I think there are cultural things that is to me is not just black. It's black, and then how do you present? And even amongst black people, we know there are different types of black people. Some of them present in certain ways to where if we're running a company, it's like, nah, you ain't it. You can wash the dishes or flip burgers in the back, but you're not interacting with customers. It's like, come on. Like, so that's where I'm at with that. But no, I can't go with your statement. The darker you are, the more they're like, no. If you're productive and you're competent, then I think there's a high enough percentage of them that will just see you for what you are in the work you do and what you produce. There's enough of them that view it that way. But But yeah, I am Jules in the building with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that. He says one study pointed out that lighter skinned black men get similar prison sentencing to white men, and dark skinned black men usually get an extra 10%. Now that's interesting. Send me that study. I do want to look at it. That is one thing that I do want to look at because, like I said, normally when you do a multivariate analysis of a lot of the things that they say that's racism, you find out that okay, there's other variables and factors in the equation, much like how they said there's a wage gap. But when you do a multivariate analysis, you find out even feminists debunk their own wage gap story, and they found out that it's really like like a 3% difference that they really can't account for when they do a true apples to apples comparison. About a 3% difference that they can't account for, which is statistically meaningless. And they find out in some cases, in some companies, women actually make more when they adjust and accounted for everything. And I think that's what happens a lot of times when we blame a lot of things on strictly racism. So, but when it comes to the disparity in the sentencing, that's one that I will admit I do want to do some more research on that. So if you could send me down a rabbit hole, please email me that link. Please email me that link. I do want to see that. And even then, are we sure it's featureism, texturism, and colorism the reason why that 10% sentence? That's her argument. The video that I'm reviewing, that's her argument. That is featureism, texturism, colorism, the reason why that darker skinned black man gets that longer sentence. I do want to actually explore that honestly. I do want to actually explore that honestly, believe it or not, because if it, and I've said this before, and this the reason I'm interested in the sentencing thing, because I've said before that there's a human element to sentencing where let's just say you got a jury, and it's hard. You could try to make the system as fair as possible, but that human element may bring in some human bias. So that's why I really I do want to examine the sentencing thing and see if the ethnic reputation of black people is indeed getting black people a larger sentence. But normally when you scratch beneath the surface on those things, you find out that black men get larger sentences because Pookie had priors and a public defender. It's like so I do want to dig into that. I'm the type of person that if I have a position on something, I do like to research the things to prove me wrong. I do like to research the things that prove me wrong. But no one in the building says we do suffer from featureism. We are persecuted due to the BBC. On the dating market, being a tall, big, dark-skinned black man did not affect me. I think it affects you, like Biggie said, black ugly as ever. However, okay, so if you like big, black, ugly as ever, without the however, black ugly as ever, but you not Gucci down to the socks and you broke. Okay, then yeah. You're gonna struggle. And maybe that's what it is with black women. Maybe they lack the however. Yeah, she. Okay, I'm not trying to. Maybe they lack the however. Maybe that however is being fit and in shape and pleasant and nice and this and that, and then I've said it once. I said it. I say it again. Men of all races can get away with a big nose, but big noses don't look good on the face of women. Even the white women that got those big gonzo noses. I forgot what ethnicity of white has those big gonzo noses. They go get surgery, get that shit cut off. They go get that fixed. So yeah, big noses typically don't look good on the face of women, but perhaps the however with women, being fit, feminine friendly. I like thick, feminine friendly, keep it real. RIP to the late great Kevin Samuels. When he was alive, it was fit, feminine friendly. I'm holding the line for thick, feminine friendly right now. But either way it go, yes, being fit slash thick, feminine friendly, those things add the however to where okay, because look, a woman, she can control those things. If she can't control her face, she can't control her face. She can't. She can't. Your face is your face. So with that with that being said, it's like it's kind of a situation where they essentially, you know, if they're doing everything else, that would count as a however for men. Because if you take the fancy language out of what Biggie said, saying Gucci down to the socks and all that, what he really saying is that I got money and I look good in every other aspect that I can control. You know, that's really what he's saying. That's really what he's saying. So if they perform well in every aspect that they can control, then all of a sudden, is that it's like that's truly the counter to it, instead of what essentially amounts to take me as I am argument. A woman could be fit. Somebody, I just saw a video where somebody showed a woman that was missing teeth, had a body out of this world. He's missing teeth, had a body out of this world. And like, I was like, and his whole point was dudes will still holler because she is in shape and she got a body. Like it's so there's that. But let me get back into it. Let me finish up the video. It's almost over. Then we're gonna get your thoughts on it.
Looking at the data and saying, oh,
Actually, RM, go ahead and drop the link right now.
Oh, this stuff, these judgments about our bodies, they're killing us.
Those judgments about the bodies, they're, by bodies she mean featureism, texturism, colorism. It's stopping Black women from getting the boy that they like. But per her argument, it's killing Black men. I look at the data on police shootings and all of that. I mean, it's 25% of the people that police officers shoot are Black, 13% of the male population. I don't know how low that number should be in a perfect world, 13%, but I do take into consideration the amount of high crime and violent crime and shootings and murders that take place in that area. It's like, how low should that number be for the I don't know how low that number should be. And I know that's a hard argument for a lot of Black people to digest. But but anyway, I don't know how low that number should be. 50% of the people they shoot are white. But per the argument is that our textures, our skin color, our features, and our hair texture is killing us, and we should care. Therefore, care about their fight for colorism, texturism, featureism. We should join their fight for them to be viewed as beautiful and get the boy that they like, because that's going to stop us from being killed. That's the argument.
That's how I know these niggas are useless.
Okay, yeah.
That's how I know all this fake data mining is fucking useless. Because you only...
She's calling it fake data mining. She's calling it fake data mining because, like I said earlier at the beginning of the show, there was no data in these discussions. You hear me when I say there was no data in these discussions until Black men entered the discussions. When Black men entered the chat, that's when data came into the discussion. And now she's poo-pooing the data and saying you can't interpret the data. But when they had the data to themselves, there was no data. It was, I feel, my truth. Me personally, that was the discussion before Black men entered the discussion. But her whole argument is that we're just fake data mining for things that fit our argument. Oh, the link is in the chat. Queen Q, yeah, come on up and speak on this. The link is in the chat. Queen Q in the building. What is going on? What is going on?
Hey, I didn't think you was gonna pull it up. I thought you were gonna finish the video. It's been a minute.
Oh wait, no. Well, the video is pretty much done. It's like, well, hell, I'll finish it because I think. I mean, right now, I think she just does like a round. Let me just, yeah, I'll double check. I'll make sure. I'll make sure. I think she just does a. Hold on, where is it at? I can't find it no more. Okay, I think she just does a rant. Like I paused her on a real bad face.
Like data, if you can use it to deride your perceived enemy.
But all the time that was spent when I looked through the history of her channel looked like she was deriding her perceived enemy without any data. So there's that. But anyway, yeah. All right. So yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. All right. She got it off. She got it off her chest. All right. All right. Wait a minute. Hold on. All right, I have background noise. Okay. All right, Queen Q, what is on your mind with this topic? What's up?
Oh, nothing much. Just the things that I hit in the comment section that I had talked about. I do believe that colorism affects men. However, I can say that the effects of colorism against men is different. As I stated before, I think that when it comes into the aspect of colorism and the way that it affects Black men, I do believe that it is in the industry of which you work. Primarily, I'm speaking towards entertainment, modeling, and movies. Earlier on in the chat, I had stated that me and my husband have a saying, especially when it comes to the movie world, which is you can only have one dark skinned nigga at the top. And so, like, when you look at the trends of different actors, you see Idris Elba had his period. He is a darker skinned man. You see that Michael B. Jordan had their rise. He was a dark skinned man. Chadwick Boseman, rest his soul, had his rise, where it seems like he was getting all the movie deals before he passed away. And now we see that is, forgive me, I think his name is Jonathan Majors, not Mayers. I keep calling him Mayers, and it's Majors, has his rise. And as you notice, you tend to see the inkling where he is getting all the movie deals and different things like that. When it comes to modeling, I don't think that when we have the conversation of colorism, when it affects men, I don't think it's more or less a darker skinned man problem in that industry as much as it is the lighter skinned man's issue. When it comes to Black men, you tend to see a hypermasculinization of them and the need for them to be darker skinned, which is why when you look at runway models or just modeling period, when it comes to skin tone, darker skin models for females are not as widely wanted as much as darker skinned male models are
All right,
highly
well,
sought after.
all right. Let me back
Oh,
up on a
sorry.
few things. You said in modeling you see darker men, and you said because of hyper masculinization. You think that's what's
Yes, and there
going?
have been. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I did not mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, you good, you good, you good. You like a we go back. You good. But I don't know. Well, okay, I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, put it
I
like this.
don't.
There are some things that it kind of is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and darker skin is viewed as more masculine, and I think Black women have their issues with that because look, masculinity masculinity obviously for obvious reason looks better on a man than it does a woman. So I have no issue with that. I don't know if, I mean, one, you mentioned Michael B. Jordan when you reeled off
Darker
Hollywood
skinned men,
celebrities.
yes.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. He brown. He ain't exactly
But I think
he ain't
that
exactly.
depends. I think that depends on who you ask in that industry because for how do I put it? Where we have a delineation as Black people, we say, dark skin, light skin, brown skin, so on and so forth. You have to take into account that other people are in this industry, and where we have our breakdowns, they're just like, look, you're light,
Yeah,
you're
black is
dark.
black is black. They see
Yes.
they see Denzel and Will Smith
And they
and
consider them the
Wesley
same.
Snipes all as the same black. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So that
I don't know for sure if that's true. Well, okay, maybe it's. I'm talking about this part where you said that in Hollywood it's like they make sure that only one Black man can be at the top. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. It could
so
be. It
so
could be.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this then, because this is me and my husband. Like I said, we've had this conversation. It's very funny. What outside of Creed right now, but that's because Michael B. Jordan is the producer of this. As I said, when it comes to black men in the entertainment, especially when it comes to the movie scene, you tend to see one black man rise and then you see them get casted in all those positions versus when you think about the other counterparts, i.e. any other race of man, you tend to see them get casted throughout. Like, for example, as I stated before it seemed like it was forgive me, I said Idris Elba. Idris Elba seemed like he was getting casted for every single black male role. Then it jumped to Chadwick Boseman, God rest his soul, as I said before. It seems like every movie that was coming out, they wanted to book him for those things. Then it
Yeah,
jumped to
but it
Michael B.
was
Jordan and so on and
hold
so
on,
forth.
but
I'm sorry.
the area where I understand what you're saying. It do seem like that, but the area where I disagree is like, but Idris Elba, he don't just like die or
No, he
disappear.
doesn't.
He just somebody else just kind of bump up and it's the new hot thing, and then he probably take maybe a few lesser roles into his wave again, and like now he back in another big one. But
Yes, but as you said,
we gotta average into the equation the minority factor of it, because I see how it could be more white men. I mean, they make up the majority of the country, and so therefore they make up the majority of the movies. I think black people are represented in I hate the term representation, but I think black people are represented in the movies to the same pretty much to the degree of our population percentage, maybe even more, because I don't think Hispanic and Latinos that's got a higher population than us. I can't tell you what what Hispanic Latino male actor is like a big deal in a thing. you know I don't know what race is that Aquaman dude. I don't know what the hell he is, but
you
anyway,
you mean
but you
Jason
see,
Momoa?
I don't keep up with names. You know that name. Okay,
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
only because you know me. I'm a Marvel and DC
Oh yeah,
fanatic,
that's
so
right.
I
That's
have
right.
to
That's
keep
right.
up. I keep up with my superheroes and my Marvel
Yeah,
movies and different things like that. So
yeah. I don't keep up with all that. But see, yeah, I don't know. But what do you think about just the core of her argument? I mean, I get some of the things that you're saying that okay, it may be out there in the movies and in Hollywood. I'm gonna pass it around a little bit.
I
But what do you
think
think
that
about the core of her argument, where she was essentially saying that black men are wrong for criticizing black women for talking about colorism or whatever, because the same colorism, texturism, featureism that they're complaining about, that's the same colorism, texturism, featureism that's causing black men to face all the inequities that they're facing, the criminal justice system and
Yep.
the economics and blah 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 blah
Yep.
blah blah blah. That was her argument.
so.
What do you think
Yep.
about that argument?
All
Hold
of
your
that's
horses,
fair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
hold your horses, patriarchy. Hold your horses. We gonna get to you. Before I pass it, I just want to hear her thoughts on the main argument that was presented. Go ahead.
I think each of those topics have nuance. I think that it depends on the situation of what you're speaking. As someone stated in the comment section, there are cases to be made that, but I don't really consider that colorism as much as it's the effects of lingering racism and stereotypes. Now, could it be said that you being a darker skinned male in states like New York, where they have stop and frisk, can be your skin tone and all this can be a factor? I'm not going to sit here and say no, but I do believe that that needs more studies into that. I'm not going to act as if stereotypes aren't a thing. I think I've gotten on your channel and I've told stories about colorism and how it affects people, especially when I was in the military and different things like that. So I'm not going to discount it, but am I going to be like, does it play like this huge pivotal thing where it makes it to where you can't get jobs, or like this police officer's pulling you over and he's like, look at this dark skinned nigger? No. Could that be the case in some of those things? Am I going to discount that? Absolutely not, because we have video cam footage of officers and different things like that that are stating their biases and different things and they get caught lacking. So I'm not going to 100% discount it. But do I feel like it plays a majority? No, I think that's not colorism as much as it is racism.
All right. All right. Dirty folks. We're gonna go to dirty folks then patriarchy. Go ahead, dirty folks. You got it.
I don't even know where to start with these clothes. All right, number one. Um,
Man, your audio sound bad, man.
I know that's pretty that. I know what happened.
Yeah, like you got like it's like a hiss and
All
you
right, there we
muffled.
go. There we go.
There you go.
That was StreamYard, man. It changed my mic.
Okay.
I feel like. All right, check it out. Number one, colorism is a female thing. No, nobody else really cares. Um, it doesn't affect you negatively in arrest. Crime is based on zip code, not really by color. Depending on what city I'm in, what side of town I'm in that particular city, that dictates how they police. It's not necessarily because you're black. It's because they think you broke. Um, as far as the
Yeah,
movie,
and that broke side of town happen to have a lot of black folks on it.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, okay.
And not only do they have broke people in it, but it's also a bunch of sons of single mothers, so they have no emotional control. So
Mhm.
so it's even different than poor people in a trailer park who still have enough sense to use garbage cans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so it's behavior over color. You know what I'm saying? Based on even that's based on zip code, right?
Mhm.
So there's that. The movie thing, I think that black people are overrepresented based on populace, and gays sure as hell are overrepresented.
Yeah,
And
they are.
white gays are super like wow.
Yeah, I think gay people and black people are the most overrepresented in Hollywood. I don't have no data on that. I just know when it come to Asian movies that came out, I
Right?
can
All you
name
get is
2
Jet
of them.
Li. You'll get Jet Li and you'll get Jackie Chan. I can't name another Asian actor. I'm sure there are
Nuh-uh.
some, but
Uh,
I
yeah, no, I'm just talking about just the just movies with just a majority Asian cast. Like they don't give 2 shits about making movies. That's that's black people thing, But anyway, but go ahead. What else you got?
I'll say this because from besides the Victim Olympics, nobody hates themselves more than black women. So black women see hate in everything. So I have a friend that's really dark. He crispy dark, right? I have a few friends that's dark, but I have one that's crispy dark who hates his skin, right? Everybody else popular, like even hang out with other people that's dark. The reason he hates it is because he's like, I know I'm black and ugly. My grandmama told me, my mama told me. No guy told him that. You know what I'm saying? Guys crack jokes, but no guy told him that. The self-esteem based on colorism comes from women. Women's identity of beauty is their thing. You know what I'm saying? Girls wanting a guy that's 6 feet tall, but they baby daddy 5'4". That is a woman's thing. Like men don't care. Not being light skinned has never helped your jump shot, no matter how light skinned Steph Curry is. Right? You just you play the cards that you given, and guys are very very good at even if you say that being dark skinned is masculine. What's wrong with being a man that's masculine? Like, there's no
Right.
downside to that. The issue is that dark skinned girls don't smile, which is a waste because they got beautiful teeth. Most dark skinned girls have beautiful smiles. You'll never see them do it. You can't even tell them to do it, or they'll cuss you out. Don't tell me to smile. They're just horrible at being human beings. They're just pure evil, but that pure evil comes from listening to other women with clothes on. Like, women make that demon. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird to me.
All right. Patriarchy Strikes Back was chomping at the bits to jump in on this. So go ahead, you got it.
Well, what the woman above is using, I would ask everybody to, I mean, isms and phobias. What she's using slave morality, right? And I don't know if anybody is familiar with Nietzsche, but there's master and slave morality, which is where all of these isms and phobias come from, right? Um, she's focused on who's oppressed and, concerned with equality and, all of that kind of stuff, because that is her jump shot. Since, I'm using the jump shot analogy, since people who can't perform, since they don't have performance, they use victimhood, right? Blacks are overrepresented in movies and media. You can just go to your local, you just go log on to Netflix and just scroll down, and you can see that Netflix has even made it a part of all their initiatives to have more black representation on their movies. There's always this thing about black representation, which is trying to push people who are black towards the front. Um, Colorism in and of itself is just the idea is stupid because it only applies to darker people. And it's funny because I think Dirty Folks said this is something women use. It came from a woman. The idea of colorism was first coined in The Color Purple by I think it was Alice Walker, by the way. Um, trying to get people to, root it in, trying to get people to feel sorry for you and all that kind of stuff. So um, I don't necessarily know if the woman's comments about, people being stopped and all this kind of stuff. I think that that's more just pattern recognition. It's if you recognize certain patterns within people who are committing crime, you're going to try to stop crime by recognizing those things. I mean, every criminal, there is a description, right? And so people, I just think they're noticing if crimes come from certain areas, we're going to patrol this certain area. So, I mean, now if you're saying that there's a reason why people are committing crimes, that's something to be discussed. But the fact of the matter is, isms, phobias, these are all just things to play the victim. I mean, that's all this is, and most of these things are just not correct.
Uh-huh. Queen Q, some of the stuff that he said was directed straight towards you. Do you care to respond to it?
I I think I want to address the point. I mean, there's nothing wrong if you believe that these are just isms and things that I'm not going to debate that. Like, everybody has their own feelings about it. I think where I'm speaking, though, is from a point of, can we identify certain things and say that these things are affecting people and call it out to the forefront? Um, I think that colorism has always been a thing. I think that it just got a coined name. And I'm not going to dispute what the gentleman said. It could be that the term, quote, colorism was coined at that time. But I believe that colorism was something that had always not always existed, but it came into existence. Then yeah, absolutely. But for me, what I'm looking at is, what are the things that people are calling out? What are the actions that's being taken? Is it being addressed? Is this a problem that we feel like is worthy of addressing and calling to the forefront? For women, it is. For men, if you don't feel like it isn't, then it isn't. I don't know what to say to that. I believe that everybody is entitled to their own opinion. So, but for me, I'm going to call it out when I see it, or if I feel like it's affecting people in a negative way. As I stated before, when it came to my example of the modeling and the movie industry, I don't really think it's a bad thing, because I heard someone saying, why would hypermasculinity be labeled as a bad thing? I don't, it, that's a different conversation for a different time. However, as I stated before, I think that colorism affects light-skinned men more than it does dark-skinned men, and how colorism affects dark-skinned women more than it does light-skinned women. So
I'm just curious, how do you know how light-skinned men are affected? How do you know this?
because there was documentaries that came out when they spoke about the modeling industry, and they spoke to what was going on. I'm going to say that I'm going off of what those individuals who worked in that field spoke to and brought awareness to. I can put in the back channel those documentaries. You can listen to them, talk about them yourselves, and then come to those opinions and say, well, hey, for you as a man, you can say, hey, they're crying, they can get over it. But for me, I'm looking at it and saying, okay, these people feel like it's something that's affecting them, their income, their livelihood, and so on and so forth. And it could be something that needs to be addressed.
Okay,
How
here's the
did
part.
how did, how does it? Hold on a second. How does it? So tell me, because you said colorism affects light-skinned men. Tell me how colorism, and according, if you could just sum it up for me, tell me how it affects light-skinned men. Tell me.
Yeah. So in the documentaries that I watched, when I listened to those men speak, one of the things that they spoke to, those lighter skinned male models were saying that they do try to effeminize them. They're like, when it comes to the roles of them being hired for certain photo shoots and different things like that, um, they were trying to base that was one of their bigger complaints. They did not want to be feminized. And as a man, I can understand that. And they were saying that, for them, the darker skinned male models did not have to deal with that. In addition to the fact that they said, hey, they would say things to the male models like, certain color palettes work better on darker skinned males, and we're looking for this type of imagery, and because you just
You don't
don't
think
fit that.
you don't
That's
think
not
that's true? Hold on a
colorism.
second. Hold on. Yeah, it could be modelism. You don't think that that's true? You
It
don't
could.
think that certain palettes and colors look different on different people?
Oh no, I agree with that. I agree. But as I said, for those men, for them, what they said was that because they were lighter, they were being feminized. And as a man, as a woman, I'm not going to tell a man what is not and what isn't effeminizing them. I mean, I hear you guys complain about it all the time. So,
you know what's hilarious?
Yeah.
What's hilarious is light skinned dudes acting light skinned. That's hilarious. Here,
I just thought, yeah, go ahead.
here's the thing. This is why you can't take modeling standards seriously. I just did a video last week where I was talking about there's a some store, some high end store on the Magnificent Mile in Chicago, and what I've noticed since 2008, ever since these obese white chicks sued Mattel because Barbie was a quote unquote false representation of female beauty. They still don't put fat girls out here like that, but they put every obese black chick they can find on every poster. If the market dictated beauty, then Instagram would be the market. It wouldn't be the modeling agency who right now only hires fat chicks. Nobody wants a fat chick unless you got a low self-esteem fat fetish. But that's not the standard of beauty. That may be a standard of diet, but that's not the standard of beauty. So that's modeling's a bad denotation of how people see themselves. But I have a question. This is my question. Do you believe that your looks dictates your behavior? I'm like is that type? Like, do you think a person that, like for instance, if they have braids, do you think they're either reggae or a young murderer, or if they light skinned, do you have a particular, like, do you think that looks denotate behavior?
You asking the general panel?
Yeah, it could be a general panel question.
No, they don't, but I think there's a correlation with certain looks and certain behaviors. Like if somebody literally, like if somebody just got neck tattoos and they fucking that damn walk around and I don't even know what the thug attire is nowadays. Whatever thugs wear today, you walk around dressed like a thug and got neck tattoos. Yeah, I can make some conclusions about his behavior. He don't got a regular, probably don't got a regular job that he goes to.
That's looks, but I mean like guy giving looks. That's what I mean.
I think
okay.
I think. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that when it comes to superficial things, maybe not. But I think that, so for example, when you're talking about looks, are you talking about somebody with a six pack? Or are you talking about somebody who's obese? Because people who generally are obese are going to be people that most people are going to find unattractive. And I do think that they have bad behavior because they're obese, or if somebody is really muscular. You know what I mean? It's like the people that are in shape, they do have certain behavior. It takes a certain behavior to be in shape. And so but I think that you're talking about I don't know if you're talking about that, or like you said, if you're just talking about dreads or something like that.
We're talking about, well, I did use that, but the conversation was colorism. I just didn't want to say, do people move differently based on color? But I guess that's a topic. I should have said that.
If I may, I will say that I'm going to have to still use what Bernard said. I do believe that your image can be a denotation of some behavior that you may have. However, is it an overall certified thing? No. I'm thinking of an aspect of like what I see in my day to day and the people that I interact with. Owning an anime store, I can most definitely tell you that the people that come in here, sometimes their looks match their behavior and their lifestyle. And then I have people who will come in here and throw me for a loop because their looks do not match their behavior and their lifestyle. Can your looks be an indicator for certain things? Like if you come in dressed in a bohemian type of dress style, I can more or less say that you listen to more calm R&B, that you're more like, we see this typical, like, what is it? The crystal and the astrology girls, they usually tend to carry a certain type of look about themselves. But we can also say that, the quiet geeky girl who comes in goth attire, she may be someone who's very cheery and upbeat in reality. So that one is a very hard question to answer. Like there's so many little things that play into that makes it a very hard question to answer.
Well,
this is the reason.
Real quick. Yeah, real quick. Sodomy and Chicken, and I'm always laughing at her name. Sodomy and Chicken in the building says black men don't care about colorism
like
for
Atlanta.
the most part. It's not really different from heightism or little. Okay, wow, really? I'm not even gonna read that word. Okay. Guys, deal with it and move on.
It's,
Thank you
it's
for the super chat. Appreciate that. Hold on, wait. RM, bring the next one up because I don't got them. I can't see them. The next one's colorism can only exist when racism isn't a problem.
that's kind
Colorism
of
can
hard.
only exist when racism isn't a problem. Hmm.
That's
What he's
kind of
saying is
hard.
rate.
That's
Yeah,
bars.
I don't even understand what he mean by that. I'm not
Nah, no,
explain what he mean.
all right, so if it's a black and white thing, then it's racism. If it's a black on black thing, then it has to be colorism. So it's still it's self and it's like a pseudo racism that black people put against each other for no reason. So
Yeah, but I think they charge up white people with colorism too, though. That's how I always looked at it.
they do. You said gingers. Ginger is kind of a slur, but I love gingers. Green eyes, red hair,
Mhm,
freckles. Love
I
ginger.
know, I know. I said that was one of my
mhm.
Yeah,
preferences.
but
Yeah,
ginger
yeah.
is a slur. You understand what I'm saying?
I
Like,
didn't know. I just found out today that it was a slur.
yeah. So, but they, if you call them one, they don't get offended. But well, they kind of do.
I,
But I love
I
them.
didn't know it was a slur. I
A
didn't know
girl
it was
that
a
look
slur.
like Wendy's, I love them girls.
Yeah,
Um, that's why I asked though.
I think
So,
Jessica Rabbit did it to me. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Jesus
Uh,
Christ.
no, it was Mary Jane Watson for me, but same thing.
yeah,
Pippi Longstockings, huh?
yeah. Anyway, hold on real quick. Sir Tyson in the building says, "Man, I wish I was light slash dark skinned. Skinned it. Never said by a group of men amongst each other. You'd probably get smacked uttering such nonsense. Dirty folks and patriarchy nailed this. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Do appreciate that." And Dig Thug in the building says, Sergeant Willie Pete was right. Black women unknowingly attach masculinity to dark skin, and now it fell on. Ooh, see what he did there. And now it fell on them. Once they said strong and dark, it causes problems. Interesting. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, good stuff. Well, hold on, before I go there, I know y'all was trying to jump in, but it looked like Teflon Don. I think I got your name right. Haven't said anything, or Chris McKay. I don't know which one you want to go by, but go
Yeah,
ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
yeah, either or. Right now I'm at work, so I think it's a little best if I wait to the next topic. 'Cause,
Yeah, you backing up that fork truck,
yeah,
about to knock
Yeah,
over.
nice to meet you.
About to knock over shit. Like we're gonna be an accident at the injury at the job. They're gonna have to change that little sign
So
and say it's been 337 days since an incident. You got to change that shit in
To,
here.
to
Trying
one.
to, yeah.
so
yeah. Just keep me off right now. I'll
All
speak
right.
when it's.
All right.
so I'm curious about what Sir Tice just said, or somebody just said about black women um, saying dark skin or masculine. It came back to them, and I have to ask a question to the lady. Congratulations on the anime store, by the way. That's really unique. So the question, the thing that this always comes down to, and it just inevitably happens, is preference. So if a man does not find, I'm curious, you think if a man does not find, and I'm just trying to save us time here because this is what it will come down to. If a man does not find dark skinned women to be attractive, is that colorism?
Hmm. Mm, mm,
I don't know. As I said before, I think for me, it's like, is it a preference thing? Like I'm not gonna say if you find dark skin if you don't find dark skinned women attractive, it's colors, and I'm not gonna say that. However, I will say that if you say I don't find dark skinned women attractive because like just really I don't know.
What if he says I don't find them attractive and it's only because of their skin? You got to.
That's kind of like where I'm like, oh, but even then I don't want to shoot him down and be like that's colorism. For me, it's like there are certain aspects that play into it. Like, why is it something where you just don't find it appealing, or is there like some racial aspects where you don't like dark skin because you associate dark skin with certain things? Like, I don't, I
Okay.
don't know.
So the thing is, you can't have, what we're seeing is there's always going to be discrimination because there's always going to be preference, right?
Mhm.
Especially when it comes to women. And women have preferences as well that we don't title as discrimination. So, for example, in the modeling industry, if people find or typically find certain phenotypes to be attractive, right? Because if you come at me with skin color, I can just counter with phenotype, right? I can counter
Mm-hmm.
with hair texture, I can counter with, bone structure, I can counter with all these different things. So it really is, can you have a world where everybody's given a fair shot, but yet everybody has individual preferences?
I think that's a bit idealistic. Like for me, I don't see anything wrong with preferences. Like I don't get mad when men say like I don't date dark skinned women. Okay, that's fine. That's your preference. That's you for you to do it. I think where I give pushback as a woman is if you say I don't date dark skinned women because they're all loud, they're all this, they're obese, they're blah 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 blah. When those traits can be attributed to any race of woman or any
Mhm.
color of woman, but you choose to soundly associate with that being your
But
reason for not dating dark skinned
yeah,
women, which I'm like,
but
hey, it's up to you what you do,
but
but
this
that
is the problem, right? The problem is you're saying you don't have a problem.
I don't.
Obviously, right? The reason why we have like women, like the Wakanda warriors who are all hideous, by the way. The reason why we have all of these massive, dramatic, you know, uh, uh, initiatives out there in these film and movie companies is because women say that there is a problem. We're trying to get rid of preferences.
You know what? I tried to. I meant to speak on that in my opening monologue. Put it like this: there's a certain combination of features that's on white women's face. You normally see it, kind of in the trailer when you ride through the trailer. It's a bad combination of features that can just naturally genetically be on a white woman's face, and she will look ugly. There's a lot of them out there. Funny how they don't go out their way to put that one on the jumbotron. They like, no, no, no. We're gonna put our most beautiful up there. But with black people, it's like, no, no, no. We gotta put our most ugliest black women up there, and
I,
we're gonna make you like it.
but
You
hold on a
know,
second.
the Amazons in the damn
Yeah.
the homie tribe woman king, they could have made them look like the Wonder Woman tribe if they wanted to. But but a bunch of black Wonder Womans. They
Yeah.
could have killed that shit, but they made them look as bad as possible. Why
Well,
try to even sell? Don't try to sell us that shit.
but the
Like,
thing is, I disagree because the white people put on Amy Schumer, and Amy Schumer is terrible. Like the
Amy
face is
has
yeah,
a
disgusting.
but she
yeah,
she she. I mean, she's okay. I'm gonna. She's a comedian. I know she may not be
She's
funny
not
to
funny.
you. I know, but she's
Yeah,
funny
but
to
yeah, but
some people.
her dad's the senator of New York. That's the only reason why she got put on.
same
Can
thing.
She
She's
I
she has
funny.
no talent.
What was the
She's
can
girl?
I
funny to
ask?
some people.
Oh, sorry. Can I ask a clarifying question if you don't mind?
Hmm.
So I'm a bit thrown by the gentleman's question. Like you, okay. So just help me understand this. You said that the Wakanda warriors. So we're talking about the Dora Milaje in the movie. You think that they're all ugly, correct?
Most of them were hideous. I'm talking about the movie Wakanda. I think the woman with the really low, I think women with very low hair is disgusting.
Like, no,
Okay.
they had no hair.
I think no
That
hair. That's nasty. And
yeah,
I think that
yeah.
she looked like Michael. She looked like a younger Michael Jordan.
Oh,
I
okay.
was waiting for the jump man. Also, I don't find her to be attractive. Lupita, I don't think Lupita's attractive. I think that
Oh,
what we're
come on.
doing is we're trying to, uh, we're attempting to be radical here. And the thing is Lupita a great actress? Yes, right. But in turn, do I find her to be attractive? Absolutely not.
I think
Uh,
she's pretty. I think she's pretty, but they do give her like an extra point and a half.
Yeah, they're
I think they
trying because we're trying to make everything just like equal here, and it's not. There are things that I know that as a man I can't do. I'm not trying to go. Let's be fair in the NFL. Let's be fair in the NBA. Let's be fair in corporate finance and give everybody a chance. This is just not reality. Beauty. Sometimes I feel sorry for these women. I mean, beauty is very unforgiving and it's unfair. It's a very unfair, discriminatory thing that not every woman has.
Okay, can I say something real quick? I want to quantify the question I asked earlier. There's been songs. I've been a student of old songs for like the last 15 years because my grandfather's favorite song growing up was I don't want no jet black woman to fry no meat for me. Because
Whoa. Say that
yeah,
again.
yeah, that was the song.
No,
I don't
say it.
I don't want
No.
no jet black woman, Lord, to fry no meat for me. 'Cause she's so goddamn mean and evil. She might try to poison me. And my grandmother be like, Bill, stop saying that. But there was
What
a
year? Do you know what year that came? Never mind. I Google it. I got to find out what year.
Yeah,
actually I
who
found
sing that song?
I found out, bro, it was a chain gang song. My grandfather was born in 1919.
Older irony. The dudes that's on the chain gang is saying they don't want a jet black woman.
Man,
That's funny.
it was like the hot song of their day. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, so like our childhood songs, like mine would be "I Ain't No Joke." When I was a kid, that was his. I don't want no jet black woman, but so it had to be like 1920s when he heard it because he was born in 1919. So somewhere between 1920s, 1930. But it's older than that because I looked it up and it was on some album called Chain Gang Songs, and I was like, wow. There was also a song that said, what did it say?
1948. 1948 is when that came out. God damn.
1948. All right. Well, shout out to Granddad. Um, remember this? There was another song saying, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, make an ugly woman your wife
Yeah.
because pretty girls have bad attitudes. So there's songs saying like, and I understand why they say pretty girls because pretty girls just have to be pretty. They don't really build a personality. They don't have to know how to read. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, are there things that are intrinsic to looks? I know I look at tall people and I'm like, y'all want to peek a hoop, but the thing the energy that I get when I listen to I try not to listen to black girls when they clothe, but every once in a while somebody tag me, is everything is about why their life isn't perfect, or they get what they asked for and now they don't want it, and or they think they better than the man who gave them what they asked for. There is no win because girls can't be happy. There is no win. You know what I'm saying? They tell you that obese men are unattractive, but Lizzo is a goddess, and y'all it ain't no happiness. Like, big girls on top. Okay, that's fine. Well, you know, they the big girls. It's not my preference. Well, the news said big girls on top. Like, there's no making girls happy in general, and then black girls just have added stuff to put on top to be more unhappy and to make other people more unhappy because they unhappy about unrealistic imaginary friends that they never left in the playpen when they was 4. Like, I don't understand this discussion. I don't even understand what the girl was talking about in the video. I was like, yo, how did you get that?
No, that's on a pretty big YouTube channel. It's on a pretty big YouTube channel. And yeah, I will circle it back to the main when you said how did I get it? You mean where did I find it? How did it
No,
pop
I
up?
mean her. I'm like, where did she get that idea
Oh,
that
okay.
that it's not her horrible attitude, it's the fact that she's too dark for somebody. Like, learn how to fry chicken. Like, do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, okay. All right. What was I
What's up?
doing?
What's
What was I
up? What's
doing?
up?
Okay. Well, yeah. Wait, hold on. Pablo came with photos. I don't know what they for, but I'll let Pablo explain what we got going on here.
So these are my cousins. So
Okay.
on the left is my first cousin, and on the right is her daughter Simone. Simone's is she just graduated from college, so she's an adult woman. She looks young, but she's in her 20s. So my question to the lady on the panel is, and both of these ladies are about Bernard's complexion. They're brown skinned to dark skinned women.
Nah, I think I'm darker than them, but all right.
Well, it's the light. It's the light.
The
The
light. Okay.
flash. It's
Oh,
daylight.
okay. Yeah. Sometimes camera trickery. I got you.
Right. But I would like to ask the young lady, do you think they run around talking about colorism?
I thought it was about black men and colorism.
Well, I'm getting to a point. I'm asking the young lady, do you think my two cousins right here, and I talk to them all the time about all kinds of different subjects, do you think they've talked a lot about colorism?
I don't know. I can't make that determination. Like probably to you more or around you, probably not. But
No.
I don't know
But I'm
those
gonna tell you.
women's.
I'm
Oh,
gonna tell you the reason why.
okay.
No, and the reason why is because they're pretty. They're really pretty. And
Yeah, they're not dark skinned either though.
they
I
ain't
think
yellow.
if you made hold on, wait, hold on.
Yeah,
If we
let me-
accept, hold on, wait, hold on. If we accept that, outside of the sun and the camera, that's their natural skin tone, that brown skin tone. If you take both of them and then just give them some shades,
make them a shade darker. Did it change anything?
pretty, they don't lose a point. That's
What you don't? I mean,
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm sorry, I have people in my store right now, so I'm just gonna say this really quick. I didn't mean to interrupt who was here. We do realize that people have conversations outside of us, and that where we may assume that people aren't having certain conversations, in reality, they very much could be. I've had
I'm not saying-
conversations. Can I? I just want to finish this real
The
quick.
absence of evidence.
I've had conversations with very beautiful women and different things like that, and this is where we get into that conversation of where we as women keep certain conversations to ourselves because we understand how men feel about it, and we're not as open to having conversations about it in front of men. Oh, give me 1 second. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Hi,
that's
welcome.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah,
incorrect.
she
If
gotta
there's one
go.
thing, that's
So-
Let me
incorrect.
know-
If there's one thing
let me
that
know
women
when-
don't do,
okay.
it's keep their complaints to themselves. Like that's a
Yeah.
lie, right?
Yeah,
If
no,
a woman-
I wasn't. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
buying
ridiculous.
that. Women have a tendency, and this is the only way you see women like the like Pablo's with the cousin and niece, or
Cousins, yeah.
okay, like your cousins. The only way you see women like that talking about colorism is if they're basically advocating for for women overall. Like I remember Game Changer said, if you slap a fat woman, a skinny woman say ouch. It's like basically
Right.
they will defend
They'll-
defend one another at all costs and take up causes that don't apply to them. And
Right.
so that's the only way you will see that. But that's been the nail in the coffin, that most of us came to the conclusion the first time we, the whole idea of colorism was put to the table. It was like you don't see, you typically will not see an attractive dark-skinned woman complaining about colorism, but the ones who are on less attractive on the spectrum of attractiveness, they're going to have a lot to say about it. There's going to be colorism, texturism, featureism, and the whole works. That's essentially what is going to be. But there was somebody who sounded like they had some objection to what was going on. I do like disagreements. So
Citizen Lou.
I think Citizen Lou.
No, I didn't have a objection to it per se. I was just saying those women weren't dark skinned, because they kind of weren't. But no, I was gonna say, excuse me. I think you were saying earlier. I think somebody was saying that black women do kind of bring this topic a lot because, after the Golden State Warriors had won the championship, there was a black woman who was a beat writer for San Francisco sports section. She was saying that the only reason why nobody puts Steph Curry in the top 10 is because he's light skinned, right? Like they were doing some type of stuff like that, and I don't. And then I remember we was on the.
What is she talking about?
He's there now.
Yeah,
So it don't matter.
But no, he only has one Finals MVP. But so they were saying that
is an issue. I want to turn into a basketball show, but that is sort of a little smudge mark on his resume, only having one Finals MVP. That speaks to how good your teammates have been for those championships. But anyway, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was gonna say, and then we were over on the breakdown one time. It was like it was a long time ago, and the women they were bringing up, they were saying that light-skinned men receive lighter sentences than dark-skinned men. So I don't know if
lighter sentences.
Yeah, like play on words. Right? Hey, you know what? I don't know, and I'm trying to figure out how do you
because they do lighter crimes.
Yeah, I was about to say
light collar.
It could be like do they? Because they were trying. I don't know what they were trying to say. Like, what they saying? Light skinned dudes wouldn't survive in prison, and dark skinned dudes can take it or something. I don't know what I don't know what they were trying. I don't know how colorism kind of played into that. And then I think somebody was. I'm just sourcing a lot of arguments that are pertinent to this conversation. I think they were saying I don't know if the Lamar Jackson thing. They were saying he don't get any. We did that the other day, Bernard. I really don't want to touch back into that. About but they were saying he doesn't get endorsements or something like that. I think that's more because his agent. But they were saying
but Freeman Journal came up and said it's because it ain't just because he's black, it's because he looked like a damn sharecropper. He needs to cut his hair and not look like he he looking like he on his damn chain gang. You need to clean up his image. But I think that's affecting endorsements. I don't know if that should affect them paying him the money. I think it's the way he plays make him injury prone.
Yeah, me personally, I think it's because you don't have an agent. Me personally, but because Baker Mayfield was trash, he had a bunch of. But anyway, I'm just saying,
terrible quarterback.
When you look at this last point I just remembered. So there's a dude on YouTube, right? It's a light skinned dude. I guess he's doing like the coon version of light skinnism. Like he's making these videos like light skinned dudes be like versus like dark skinned dudes be like. And all the light skinned skits are like doing like mad suspect, like you know what I mean? Like he's like doing a bunch of like fruity stuff. And then it's like light skinned dudes are like messaging them like, man, you a sellout light skin. You how you hate your color? Why you making us look like this? And so I think somebody was saying earlier that I think she was saying that documentary, is it fair to say that light skinned dudes are seen as like, more feminine, more like weaker or something? Because dark skinned dudes are seen as like just hyper masculine, you know what I'm saying? Freaking Mark Henry built beat your chest gorilla type, is that kind of the, I'm just
it's kind of
just exploring, you know what I'm saying? I just want to like get it out there. I just want to speak on it. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, basically, you ever heard of the 90s or whatever? That light skinned men, they were the ones singing the love songs. Not like there wasn't dark skinned men singing the love songs as well, but like they're feminine. Perfect example, Drake. You wouldn't think you would think that Drake, well, he has a stigma, or not a stigma, a stereotype that he's always singing love songs and he's always hurt.
Your shit sound real staticky. You snap, crackle, and popping right now. I don't think it will work for you at work.
But the thing is, even with Drake, how is that?
I'm sorry, bro.
How is that oppression when he's like the #1 artist in the world? I don't understand.
Nah, you touch
on a
good point. Hold on, wait, real quick. You touch on a good point. You touch on a good point because only women are taking something like that, like preferences, or you're viewed this way because of a skin tone or this or that. Only they look at it as oppression. Men not going to look at it as some type of oppression. It's just like, okay, I'm like the dude could just be like, hey, I'm light-skinned. Light-skinned dudes have a certain reputation. I'm still going to be me and do what I do. And if somebody think I'm soft, they gonna fuck around and find out the hard way if they try to run up on me. Like that's how most men operate with it. But I don't. Women they go cry in the shower about the shit. So
remember Wale was crying. Remember he said that the reason why he wasn't successful as Drake was because of colorism. Y'all remember that?
No, I remember he called. Well, he's
was I wrong?
No, I don't remember. I remember him being friends with J. Cole, and I remember him calling into to Complex and cussing them out because he didn't even get like top 50 artist or something like that. But I don't remember him saying anything specifically. You got to send. I'm a Wale fan, actually. I don't remember him saying anything specific.
I got you. I remember he was. I don't know if it was Donkey of the Day or something, because I remember him. I remember this vividly. He was saying that he wasn't as successful as Drake and everybody else was because of colorism. I remember that. I remember it stuck out to me because I was like, "Hey, Wale crying about this?"
I never heard that.
That's when you know you're in the fall off when you start doing that.
I never heard that, but see, men get clowned for saying stuff like that.
I'm gonna look for it.
We just can't get away with making statements like that. Like that's ridiculous. I mean, even if Drake is not your personal cup of tea, you could. Them songs are catchy. Like it's some talent there. Like I don't really listen to Drake that much like that. But yeah, the stuff that they put out there on the radio, I'm like,
longevity.
I see why people like it. It's just not my thing.
I found it.
What do you listen to?
The reason
listen to that Jet Black woman artist. That's
my dad.
Who do you listen to? I'm curious.
I got a variety of shit. I don't listen to that much rap. I don't. If we talking rap, I like Kanye West can do no wrong musically.
At all, I agree.
Yes, I like Jay-Z. I like Kanye.
I'll say King album, Bernard.
I like all of it. All of it. You can do no wrong.
Like
music.
The younger Lil Baby and NLE Choppa.
Like you listen to rock. You ever listen
to
rock?
More obscure, not
Young Boy.
Rappers that's not as. I'm about to tell y'all who I listen to that ain't as mainstream. Hobson. I like him. Joyner Lucas ain't exactly mainstream. He might be. I don't know. Joyner Lucas.
100 mil views.
Yeah, Hobson kind of stopped rapping.
Okay. All right.
But his previous stuff was pretty good though.
You got some good rappers from your town, Boldy James.
You don't you like Peasy? You like Peasy, Bernard?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh wow, he put it in a back chat. I'm about to look at this, Citizen.
Yeah, I put the Wale Colorism.
I want to say this: the reason why Wale fell off is because, I mean, he never embraced the label that he was on with Ross and Meek Mills, and he never kept to his niche audience. He tried to follow what Drake was doing, and it kind of backfired on him instead of just like focusing on his niche audience. Like Kendrick did it. There was a split between Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake. And even though Kendrick and J. Cole, they might not make as much money as Drake does, they still keep their core audience.
Drake washing everybody. I'm sorry.
I want to steer it back to the top before we turn it into a hip hop show, because I'm really no expert on that shit. But
Cole killing them on tours.
I like Cole too. I like Cole.
But see, when it comes to him, I don't know if it's colorism. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going.
Well, I don't think it's color.
No, I think it's because his mom is them people. That's why. Notice you never heard Drake complain about any 360 deals or he fighting over money.
He got fleeced by Birdman. Hotline Bling. All of that money went right into Birdman. About that.
And I heard he didn't get paid for Take Care, but I heard that was speculation. I don't know.
But no, everything up until Views from the 6, he got fleeced. Like he what's the name? Birdman made millions, and shout out to Birdman, by the way, made millions off of Drake.
Yeah, he had to buy himself out.
But you know where Drake get his money at though, Pay?
Don't y'all love it? Don't y'all love it when black people get in a position of power in the industry and they just fleece other black people, just like the small hats that they complain about? They do the same shit,
just like the Igbos in Nigeria and all that. Hey, but you know what? But you know where he really get his, that those writing credits, those published. That's where Drake really get his money off of. He writes for a lot of people. So it's hard to really get 360 out of writing your own music.
I do want to try to explore in further in what ways do colorism. I mean, we don't even speak the language of that shit. We don't even speak the language of that shit when it comes to colorism. But in what ways do colorism in any way affect black men in any type of tangible way? In the video I played, she was arguing all the stuff that y'all go through with the criminal justice system and blah 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 blah, and the economics and the not getting jobs and all these social inequities that's related to the color of your skin, the texture of your hair and your features. So y'all should be with us with that. So, Bernard, to what degree? Hold on. So to what degree would y'all say that colorism and all that shit does have some type of effect?
I'm being honest with you personally.
One at a time, family. One at a time.
Oh. Yeah, ready.
I was going to say this personally. I mean, from my own experience, I don't think it affects men. Like, I don't think it affects men at all. Like, I don't think it's gonna affect you in the dating market, and I don't think it's gonna affect you.
We moved the dating market. We moved the dating market to the side. The dark skinned men winning. Even if you black ugly as ever, as long as you got a however, stay Gucci down to the side.
No, because you know what it is.
We don't affect the dating market. It don't affect the dating market. Do it affect other shit? That's what we get.
No, because talent is talent with us. Prime example, Kevin Hart. Right? Okay. I mean, Kevin Hart. We can argue Kevin Hart is bigger than what's his name? What's his name? That's short too. I forgot his name. Damn it.
Oh, is he white or black?
No, he's black. He was on Cat Williams. Like he's bigger than Cat Williams. He gets more deals than Cat Williams. It's all about what us as men. We just gotta outwork the next dude. It's not. I don't be feeling like I wouldn't feel no type of way like, oh, a light-skinned dude got the job. And like maybe I wasn't adequate enough. Maybe I didn't work as efficiently as possible. That's how men believe it is. It's based off meritocracy. Because at the end of the day, us being light-skinned or us being dark-skinned, you still got to perform. It's not about our aesthetics. You still got to perform at the end of the day.
All right.
I can counter that with The Rock, though.
Well, but the Rock is
what about The Rock? You think The Rock is living off light skin?
No, I'm just saying, right? What I'm telling you is this. if we're talking about the arts, right? Or if we're talking about we're in a market, we're creating a market where people have to be physically appealing to other people, then there's always going to be discrimination in that. There's always going to be people who are going to be left out of that because it's discriminatory. So if I'm looking at something for what some people would consider for beauty, or what some people would consider for being physically appealing, there's always going to be a line in that. Kevin Hart is what he is because of comedy. And comedy has nothing to do with
think because he works out, he takes care of himself, and he knows how to speak and knows how to articulate himself amongst the great society in America.
I think it's way more. I think it's way more relative that he knows how to market better than anybody else.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, granted, I mean, here's the thing too. I forgot what somebody was saying before, but they say like Kevin works on like 2 to 3 movies a year. I don't think The Rock works on that many movies.
Here's where we're going wrong. Here's where we're going wrong in this argument, right? Because again, you're bringing up entertainment factors again. Black people are the significant minority, or rather, likely better said, insignificant minority in entertainment spending.
I'll grant that.
I'll grant that. That's what I was going to. Hey, Dirty, let me just get this in real.
What I actually wanted to, if I could, because we're going to get too far afield from it. What I wanted to actually bring up here is nobody addressed that Schrodinger's colorism argument that old girl left off on here on, right? Just because we're not having this discussion, we can't assume that it's not being had, or it may or may not be had with other people who aren't us. That's the logic behind colorism.
Actually, she said girls. That's even worse because she's not even discussing it with other colors. But here's my thing. I think it affects you 97%. I believe it's that high. With black women, that's the reason that black women in HR rarely hire black men, but they have all women in Home Depot and they don't know shit about lumber. That's why these discussions happen. That's why you can talk about girls weave and some chick that's bald head or with an afro be like, yo, she can have her hair 17 different colors. I'm like, yo, all I said was
if that's the case, then is she hiring more light-skinned women or dark-skinned women to work with her?
Good point.
That's a good point.
Light-skinned women don't gotta work.
Red bones get to rest, right?
Yeah, red bones get. They ain't got to do it. They housewives. They ain't got to.
So here's the thing, man. When
you stay in the shade,
colorism, a girl giving a colorism argument is just another way of saying black men not protecting us. That's all that is. You need to defend us. Here's another stupid ass reason that you don't give a shit about for you to protect us from being dumb.
No, it's what I showed before. Colorism is an ugly girl's argument.
Exactly.
That's why all it is. That is all it is. None of the attractive, fit, in shape women who are dark skinned are complaining about being pushed to the side. It's only the excuse.
These are the same. Bria Miles is not complaining.
It'll take me 30 seconds here, and I'll throw it right back to you. It's only those people. Right? These are the same people who would rather go to Bernard and purchase somebody else's hair and put it on them. They'll go and put 3.5 inch nails.
I no longer have a small shop that does that.
Roger that. Okay, my bad. Who used to go to Bernard to get other people's hair put on them? Who would rather spend 7 days perfecting an eyeshadow technique? Who would rather spend money on 3.5 inch nails and tattoos and everything else instead of maybe shop in the produce section and maybe spend 45 minutes exercising? These are the same people who come up with the colorism argument.
I agree.
Let me ask y'all.
Yeah, but here's my thing though. Hold on. I think sometimes we've been a bit disingenuous because like I remember growing up, if you were dark skinned, it didn't matter how fly you were, how much money you had. That was the roast. Oh, you blackity black. You were black boy. It didn't. I mean, you could still get girls.
Okay, African.
You could be in beauty pack. You could be. You know what I'm saying? You could be at proms. But it was like you being dark skinned was just that dig. So it's like We were talking about this on the other day.
Patriarchy. How many times
only in Black America, only in Black
Not too
America.
many. People, it's hard to outclown me.
Hold on.
Well, but you know what I mean. They try.
No, wait, hold on, y'all. What are you saying? Y'all saying
bro? Getting teased in Black
He's
America.
He's playing it. You said that dark skinned people playing a victim right now.
Oh,
No. What I'm saying though, right? Only around Negroes, a dark skinned dude could feel like, you know what, man? Damn, I'm ugly. But then you go around other people like whites or something like that, you actually could get chicks.
Oh my God, I love your color.
You get what I'm saying? But like, and these kids are just as black as you, but you might be
But can I say this though, Lou?
You might got an extra shade to you. I'm just
in high school,
let's not act like we're not black. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Black people are cruel to each other. That's a cultural...
Exactly. You get roasted.
We hate our skin.
Let me say this, Lou. I grew up. I wasn't able to buy like Jordans, and I probably had like 2 sneakers for like the whole year and stuff like that. But here's the thing,
I was on your head.
Yeah,
I was on your head. You came into school.
I had to make sure my stuff had to be clean all the time because I didn't have a lot of pairs of sneakers. But here's the thing: I look back at it now, and I'm thinking to myself, the dudes that had a lot of Jordans, like their parents lived in Section 8 housing or they lived in the projects, and I lived in like a private home. But it's like, yeah, the priorities was not to buy like sneakers for me. It was just more so to make sure you look decent. And I think back on it, I'm like, I used to feel bad, like, yeah, damn, I was getting roasted because I didn't have like 5 pairs of Jordans or whatnot. But you look back at it, like them people lived. These are people we clown now. Your mom's on Section 8. Your dad, you got like 3 brothers and sisters that don't even have the same name. Like if you think about it, you know what I mean? So you kind of have to. It kind of evens out.
So Patriarch, you're a resident light skinned dude, right? So
okay.
You said you could get it going with the joke. So
yeah, but what I remember,
were you getting picked on?
What I remember is that people.
Hold on, wait.
No, you're not letting me finish.
Yeah,
the people who are good at jokes are good at jokes. It doesn't matter if their shoes are good. It doesn't matter if they're there were people that I know who would wear the same clothes every day or didn't have the best clothes, but they still had an ability to roast. I mean, it's just an ability that you have or you don't. Right. And then there's people. Hold on a second. Then there's people or women who are super. There's women that are super attractive, but they don't have the ability to roast. And then they'll even let people make fun of the things that they may have that are good things, and then they feel insecure about those good things.
Like
so I think that this is
something.
Yeah, like this is just something that is just inherent to the person. Do you let what people say about you affect you or not? That's what this comes down to. It doesn't come down to this happened to me in high school or middle school or something. I mean, people too old to be holding on to that kind of stuff.
Hold on. Let me just. No, I was going to say this though, because like when we grew up, you had to know how to roast, or you just had to fight, right? So I don't think it's necessarily inherent. I think it's like an acquired skill set. Like you just got to get roasted.
I was just about to say that. Right. You got to learn how to either fight or use your mouth here.
No, to Patriarchy's point, right? To Patriarchy's point, like 5 fat bitches will clown a skinny bitch by calling her a boy body, or not even skinny, in shape, just fit and in shape.
And if she roasts back, they'll beat her up.
They'll treat that track athlete as if she's anorexic and weighs 75 pounds.
And light skinned girls want to be dark skinned. Dark skinned girls want to be light skinned. The most light skinned girls, the most pro blackety black goofy bitches.
Colin Kaepernick.
Here's the thing, man. Boys roast, but then we go and play football together. Like some of the guys that you roasted are probably, you still cool with to this day. I ain't gonna say best friends with, but still cool with to this day. Girls are so evil that they literally had a movie called Mean Girls, where pretty girls are mean to other pretty girls.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like girls are just horrible at being human beings. So even the colorism argument, the color, it's just another way of saying, yo, I'm not going to improve myself. I'm not going to learn how to fry chicken, suck dick, and shut the fuck up. So I need you to help me fight over crayons.
Like, and to the point somebody else brought up, right? Because I'm actually lighter than patriarchy, right? I'm actually
so you must be white then.
I'm passing, right?
Right.
To 60%.
You gotta be a white man, Judge.
You look like Duke Ellington.
I say like 40%.
Like Adam
like
Clayton Powell.
40% of white people can't tell. 40% of white people can't tell. Black people can always tell.
You got a part in your head.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal. I don't
You
know if
pass
this
it
is
for white,
patriarchy's
don't you?
experience. Look, I don't know if this is patriarchy's experience, but my experience is I got good at cracking back and roasting because niggas was roasting me.
I think
that's what I was saying, Judge.
No, I think the thing,
but that's not the question. The question is,
people. Let me just say something. There were still people growing up that did not know how to roast. Also, a second thing, I think y'all, because you like, well, we niggas and we know how to roast. You are severely misunderstanding or underestimating white people and their abilities to roast.
Yes.
See, white people just can't do it anymore because everybody gets sensitive on them.
Yes.
But some of the people I've seen that have roasted or annihilated people the most, because now I'm going back to thinking about my high school days, was some white people. Like I'm going back to it and replaying it in my head. I'm like, oh, okay. And it was white people that maybe they thought that he didn't know how to roast because he was white, and they tried him and he annihilated them. So I'm just saying, is it an acquired skill? Yeah, but some people never acquire it. Some people become victims.
If I may, though, the question is not whether or not you're getting teased over colorism. The question is as a man, is colorism preventing you from
exactly?
Hell no.
Exactly.
No,
we all got teased. We all got teased.
Is it affecting you? Does it affect black men in any type of measurable way?
That's the point I was getting. That's the point I was getting to when I said it. The roasting, yeah, it happens. Look, I had a homeboy, J-Bone, like he pretty light skinned motherfucker. Like I used to hear that shit all the fucking time and get back at him, right? We go back, but would that stop us from working together, building together, making money together? Absolutely not. Did it hold us back from any opportunities in life? No.
I want to say this though. That's one of the differences, like with male and female. Like, okay, if a man is, let's just say he's not getting on with the ladies for whatever reason, they think he's black and ugly. Okay, that's not as much of a national crisis, but for women, they view it as that their beauty not being viewed as beautiful for them that is a national crisis. That's a state of emergency. Yeah. So that's why we'll never look at it as that big of a deal. We'll never look at it as that big of a deal. They're gonna always look at it as that big of a deal. That's why in the video that I reviewed, she did the spin move of trying to blame, all the areas where black men are affected in society. She tried to blame it on colorism, featureism, texturism, and all of that stuff, even though there's other reasons why niggas locked up.
Yeah. And I can tell you on that one, I didn't get no lighter a sentence when I got in trouble.
I'm glad you attested to that. I want to say this real quick. White people, what patriarchy did. I was going to say the public school system is just an entire roasting session on black people anyway. All you learn is black people are slaves, so it's already at an advantage. I just want to say that real quick. I just want to say that real quick.
They giving all the fuel and ammo to the roaster, son.
You get what I'm saying? The textbook is a roasting session. So it's like,
and actually, I'll say this: the only time I experienced a negative in opportunities that could be referenced as colorist, I'm going to put it up with white women who said I wasn't dark enough.
Facts. I can see it.
Yeah, and that again, that's why the being dark never affected anything. Like, put it like this: the women that mess with me, they mess with me because I was dark, like that, and they got no problem saying it.
That's what I'm saying. Like
women of all white women too. Yeah, Judge is right. When they mess with a black dude, they want to know they messing with a black dude. They don't want no sort of kind of halfway in between light brown. No, they want you to be all the way black. So yeah, and it's black.
If I'm gonna make my daddy angry, it's gonna be worth it.
And the thing is, it's black women that have that same fetish or preference. Let's call it a preference, but whatever we gonna call it, it's black women that got the same preference or fetish or whatever.
That's why
but hold on, real quick. Dig Thug in the building says, "Do you think online bashing is just us not letting go of high school roasting?" Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. The online bashing, the trolling, you name it. If anything that Negroes is doing online, I think that is rooted in that primal high school a need to fuck with people. Yeah.
That lunch table roasting. Some people never got over that.
Oh, wait. I got to correct myself. And Jackie Jack, she denied me the opportunity because I wasn't dark enough.
Oh really?
Oh,
wow. So you had a bad DM slide experience or something?
Man,
it didn't work out for you?
Return to sender.
She's like, why is this white man trying to kill me?
Hit with the far side? She's with the far side?
Man. She keeps on passing me by.
Let me say this though, because I just feel genuinely it don't really affect your pockets as a black man. Like, I think you can still just I don't know. I don't know if you're confident, if you come in the room confident, it's already assumed like you're dominant or you're masculine as a black man. And if you know how to be able, not necessarily I want to say tone it down, but have the demeanor and the composure that's appropriate for the room. For example, if you're around white people, you're not talking, you're not acting like you DMX, but you still have some kind of, what's it called? Je ne sais quoi about you, you're smooth and whatnot.
We call it over here, the socially accepted term is nigga juice.
Yeah, I like to be a little sophisticated with it. That's why.
Get my nigga juice.
So yeah, like me, I go to a lot of I'm into a lot of rock bands and stuff like that. I go to a lot of concerts. I go to a lot of parties. I'll be literally the only black person there, and I don't really have any issues like networking or kicking it with people. People buy me drinks all the time. Like I don't really have issues in terms of being a dark-skinned black man. I really don't.
All right, now let's look at this. All right, now Jackie Jack is saying she's a proud colorist and she got the chocolate sign right there. I think that's. I mean, she said, and she said in another post that she liked darker men. Like, there's a what are the rules on who can proudly say that they can proudly triumphantly say exactly what they like and it not be a problem? But some people could probably say exactly what they like, and then it'd be a problem.
You can only proudly like dark skinned women.
Wait, I don't think that's
but she can proudly like dark skinned men. It's like if you proudly like anything other than dark, then it's a problem. Then it's a problem. Like Pablo, ain't your preference is like a caramel complected Latina type, something like that. That's your preference, right?
All day and twice on Sunday.
Okay, so Pablo proudly announced that in any space other than Manosphere or Passport Bro spaces, then people pull out the pitchforks. And it's like those are the unwritten rules. As long as what you have a preference for is darker, it's okay. Like I said, I do have a darker preference. I got three of them. I said dark skinned black woman, or ginger. I just found out that's a slur. Or a little bitty Chinese woman, a little bitty Chinese woman that barely speak English. Those are my three little things that I got a thing for.
But I
can announce one of them without having to explain myself. The other ones, get put under a white light in examination, even though they did put me under a white light. Well, SKC and Hood Server to put me under the white light for having a darker preference. We had to explain that. Anyway.
For me, dark skinned chicks didn't rock with me.
No, I'm with Bernard Arthur. Dark skinned girls don't rock with me either. I get all type of light skinned girls. I want a girl so dark she purple. I want the bottom of her feet to be black. All I want to see is her eyeballs and her teeth. But you can't never see their teeth because dark skinned girls don't smile. So eyeballs. But dark skinned girls want light skinned dudes. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
Hey,
what are they complaining about?
I'm sorry, Christian. Hold on. I met Christian in person. I've actually been to his house. He's married to an Asian woman. He says I've been disinvited from his house because I got a preference for a little Asian woman that barely speak English. But yours speak English though, so she good. She good.
Now, if you want,
now listen. I go over your house and she just come out the kitchen with some broken English. You might need to put me out. You might need to, I'm just playing. But shout out to Christian. That's my guy. That's my guy. And while we at it, since we're talking about that, if you're in the Detroit area, hang out with Bernard Riley and a few fellow Black Manosphere bros at Barcade in Detroit for games and drinks. March 20th. That's right around the corner. March 20th, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's where I see
Monday.
Christian is. That's where that's this Monday. That's where I see Christian at least once a month. I do see Christian, so that's my guy. But so yes, if you're in the Detroit area, definitely click the link, click that Evite link, and come hang out. We've done that I think 6 times now. So yeah. So all right.
I only think you get in trouble when you put those preferences in with two people, and again it's when you go to the sphere and the black white knights that want to take up for
wait, what is that?
That's the official sound of fat chicks.
That's that big shirt.
Hold on. Let me make
big
sure.
shirt.
Hold on. Let me make sure are you talking about a specific channel when you say that?
I can't differentiate one of those channels from another.
Okay, I thought it was.
And that was a good Obama type response. That was a good one.
As far as I'm
that was perfect.
As far as I'm concerned, that channel, the Red Table Talk, this same stuff, like all the rest of them, they're all the same to me.
That's funny.
That sounds like an old Negro spiritual.
Somebody said I can hear the neck
Amazing
roll.
Grace. Yeah,
I can see us picking cotton now.
All right.
But can I say this? What Baloo was saying is true, because Tommy used to talk about that all the time. He said one time in high school he tried to date a girl, and she was dark skinned. She said, "Why would I date you? Our kids are gonna be black. Like our kids are gonna be dark skinned." And he was taken aback by that. He said he really never had problems dating white women and stuff like that, which I can honestly believe, But it's man, it's wild.
Well, see,
the crazy thing about that. Somebody got bad background.
No, that's me. That's my girl. My bad.
The crazy thing again I find about this is I tend to dabble often in the Latin space, and they run the gamut, and there's no real issues that way. I'm not saying that there's not lighter skinned Latinos that want to be with lighter skin and yada yada yada, but when you see the disparity in their skin tones with each other and often in their relationships, there's really again, as far as it being a male issue, I've never seen it be an issue with the men there, but even there, it's a woman's issue with women, just like it is here, women's issue with women. Again,
I disagree, Judge.
The most of the people that are going to tell you, in my experience, anecdotally, is the older women, or is the older women in the family, or that are going to bring that colorism shit to the forefront, like you're too dark or you're light skinned and pretty.
All right.
Isn't some of this baked into the cake for genetic diversity, though? Don't you think some of this is just wired into people to make sure they're not screwing their sisters and cousins and stuff?
No,
I do.
What you mean?
I see what he's saying.
Wait, hold on, time out. Are you saying being attracted to different races?
Yes.
That's sort of okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, you're right, Pablo. Because mixed people tend to not have sickle cell, right?
Yeah, even the
Yes.
science on that would say that
it's
at the gene level, take society, civilization, all that out of the equation. Everybody just subject to whatever nature throws at them. The more genetic diversity you got in you, the more likely you are to survive. Basically, they said you want to be. They said it's basically a genetic survival advantage.
You be Patrick Mahomes and Steph Curry, you dominate.
Okay, so let's take it. So let's take that out of the American environment. Let's test this outside of the American environment, right? So you got Morocco and Algeria, right? Mm-hmm. Those are highly diverse countries as far as the racial diaspora between Arab, African, and even European influence, right? Can we agree?
Wait, say that one more time, Judge. You said
Morocco and Algeria.
You said they're what now?
Morocco and Algeria, that they're highly diverse between African, Arab, and European influence, right? To where that there's a broad shade. There's a broad
Okay,
spectrum
I
of
got
shades
you.
of black.
I
Right?
got you. Okay,
but
yeah.
but that's not necessarily right. There's not necessarily a colorism base there. That's not predominant for any colonial influence. Does that make sense?
Kind of, but here, well, the Greeks
Kind of.
talked them a long time ago. But here's the thing with that. What you said, what you guys are saying is a very masculine point of view. Girls don't care. Girls get mad at you, they'll sleep with your brother. They don't care about not mixing gene pools. The colorism, even when you say you're in Latin spaces, Latina women really don't like Latina men. They prefer black men. You know what I'm saying? White women really don't like white men. They prefer.
Well, that's
So it's a strange
I
dichotomy.
disagree. I disagree with the white woman
I'm
part.
gonna
I
be
think
honest.
white women just like different things.
Yeah,
I'm
white
gonna
women
be
like
honest. I'm gonna be honest. This might be personal, anecdotal, but I've seen light skinned dudes kind of just clear the game over in Latin America. To be honest, like
Yeah.
I've seen it like time and time again, and they could be fat, bald, out of shape, you know, all that's a light skinned dude to clean up. Because Will Smith has done a lot to black male image, and I think sometimes when they think of a black man, it might be Will Smith.
That
it
is
might
true.
not be. It might not be Kodak
That's
Black.
interesting. That's interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
But all right. Dig Thug in the building with the $5 super chat. He says, "Can dark skinned black women stop getting tattoos? I can't see that shit." Yeah, I don't have to get tattoos.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I think all dark skinned people. There's no need to get tattoos.
They wasting.
You see the colors in it. Why do it?
It's like
if you get blue and cyan, sometimes it pop out on your skin better.
Yeah, for the most part.
Colors that pop out.
What is cyan? What the colors?
It's
for the most part.
Cyan is like a blue.
For the most part, I think it's a waste of money when you really darken, you get tattoos. But thank you for the super chat, appreciate that. I think that glitch got fixed. RM.
Oh, one of my best roasts.
I can see the super chats that you star right now. But any that I haven't read, if I haven't read it, put it up on the screen. If you want your comment read, send it via super chat. It will get put on the screen and it will get read. Queen Q is back. It looked like you had said something in the chat in the private chat where you were it was something you wanted to circle it back to that we were talking about before, and I want to circle it more back to the main topic. We get too far gone, but Queen Q, what was it that you wanted to cycle it back to, or no? At least if I read that right, or are you there? Queen Q going once. Queen Q going twice.
I think she said she's running a shop or something. So
no, she came back. She left something in the private chat. Basically,
no, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Oh,
she's a hardworking black woman, man. Let her get her money.
Yeah, right on, absolutely. but no, I was throwing the mic back to you because it sounded like you had said something in the private chat that you was trying to cycle it back to something that was discussed earlier, or you was trying to see if we were still on that. We could take it back there. What was on your mind?
I think you guys have moved past it. I'm just sitting up here listening. I'm a little shell shocked by some of the statements, but I'm just listening at this point. And I don't know.
Okay, what you shell shocked by? We gotta know.
Probably we were talking about cotton picking, right?
No, not that. I understand the black men have their little inside jokes. I think that what got me was I need a little bit more clarification on this idea that, and please clarify if I'm misquoting the statement, that the movement for the preferences is so that way you're not sleeping with your. Can somebody please expound upon that and say exactly what you said?
Let me take it there. All right, because I'm the one that said it. This is scientific. It's not my feelings. It's not some social political exercise. When you have more genetic diversity, it generates, generally speaking, healthier, more robust people. But it also applies to any mammal species. The more you introduce genetic diversity from different populations, the healthier the offspring of said population. And the same applies to human beings. So that was the basis for what I was saying, is that, and there's a part of people that wants to ensure that they're not reproducing with people from their own family. And so a part of what is wired into males is sometimes to seek out difference, to seek out diversity, to seek out something different than what they already have, to ensure that genetic diversity and make sure you're not, quote unquote, sleeping with your family, with your clan.
I'm still
You
in
got
that.
it?
I'm still in that.
I don't know about that.
I
Lonzo
do.
I think.
Ball,
Hold on,
he
wait. I
genetically.
think what a lot of people miss with that is that I don't think people consciously think that there are certain things that are hardwired into us, and so. And so when scientists break it down, they're not saying, okay, for example, when a man gets aroused, that's his genes telling him to go procreate. But obviously we're not thinking that, okay, I'm about to go get this chick pregnant. No, we just think we want to get one off. We're gonna put a condom on, gonna pull out or whatever. But but our hard wiring is saying go propagate your DNA. So I think that's what Pablo was talking about. It can very well be something genetically hardwired into us to where to seek out mates that look completely different. If you understand what I'm saying.
From a macro position,
That's
think
why a
Tay-Sachs,
5'3" girl wants a
Tay-Sachs.
6-foot man.
Right. Well, in a macro sense, think Tay-Sachs, or as people have brought up, sickle cell. Right. Those things that or even biodiversity with reference to tolerances for foods and allergies and that type of thing. It brings when you mate out of that specific population, you're mating out and introducing those things that are different, and you're reducing the propensity for recessive gene production.
So for me, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I just have a couple follow-up questions because you specifically said males. So if it is a thing with males, why do we not see more or less more interracial couples from other men? So if you're saying that it is something in you that is like nature that is telling you to avoid these people who look like you, so that way you don't end up breeding with your cousin, your sister, and so forth, as the examples you gave.
White men are the largest population of men in Thailand and Philippines.
There's an easy answer. It's historical.
There's an easy answer. It's historical.
Again.
All right, somebody got bad background.
Last person added. That is this. And so if you go past the last 100 years, 150 odd years, right? We'll even say 200 years, right? The conquering men are the ones who, right? It was basically based for warfare, conflict, and conquer. So the men are enslaved, the women are impregnated.
I don't think it's nothing in you. I don't think it's nothing in you that says avoid those who have a similar skin tone to you. That part doesn't make sense. I see why it would be something hardwired into people to where there's an extra added attraction to those who do have different features, attributes, or genetics. I see how with some people they will have that added attraction.
Even according to his philosophy.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was just going to add on to his philosophy. And I like that, by the way. I'm spinning that game to all them South Dakota chicks. But men do it. Every man does it. America just has you hardwired for crayons. But when you really get into genetic pools, there's a lot of Brits and Germans that want to sleep with a ginger or a Italian chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you call them all white, but they're not the same people. There's a lot of guys that call themselves passport bros. They want to go to Jamaica and Brazil and with other girls with the same color, but the different phenotype. So like guys do breed. I think America, you have to ask yourself how much of this is based on American racist history, because people breed with people date in their proximity. Like the internet opened up the world, but you used to date within your proximity. So
I can show you an article of Chinese men in Kenya marrying Kenyan women.
Yeah, that's a big thing out there, and they also make them single mothers too. The ones that want to get married, but yeah, it's big for China went over there and put an airport up and started sleeping with all the chicks. That absolutely
exactly.
So, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
that might mess around and be good for Kenya in a few more years. They gonna have a bunch of half Asian. Well, never mind. All right, never mind. I ain't going there. Yeah, little some. I don't know. Black and Asian mix is not bad. But anyway, so yeah, so the Asian men is just having a way out there. It may not be a bad thing in 18 years. But anyway, yeah, y'all understand what I'm saying. But anyway, all right, where was we at? Who haven't spoke in a while? Who haven't spoken in a while? I was trying to pass the mic.
Rock. I interrupted her on accident.
I want to hear more of what she has to say. Like any interesting takeaways that she had from the conversation that we had before. Like anything you thought was different. Because to me, I'll be honest with you, I don't really feel like colorism affects. Like and you know what it is? It's funny. When LeBron would play the Warriors for like 3 years, 4 years straight, everybody was trying to make it a light skin, dark skin thing, and I'm like, "What Draymond Green is on the Warriors?" he's like the harder. Like to me, no, and it was more black women trying to say, "Oh, it's these light. Look at them, they going hard for LeBron because he dark skin, he represent them." And
people were saying that.
Yeah, Chrissy was saying, people are not liking Steph Curry because he's going to represent the NBA. He's going to start representing the NBA in the near future and whatnot. And to me, that was stupid because regardless of when Steph Curry, how great Steph Curry is, people considered Durant the better player when he was there. So like to me, it's
no doubt.
It's like women trying to make men insecure about things because of their own insecurities. Because it don't matter if Steph Curry win like 2 more MVPs, like people are gonna always assume that MJ is the GOAT, man. Like he don't get any darker than MJ. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's why I say
women they shouldn't join in the sports debates. They just know.
Because they the only ones who brought up that top 10 thing. Oh, Curry light skin. That's why y'all don't want to. I was like, come on, man. That's like nobody even think of that when.
But again, Lou.
But some do though. Like Kendrick Perkins, he does have a visual issue with Golden State's light skinism. Like he does have a problem with it. It's kind of weird. Like he always addresses it. Them light skinned boys got him another one. Like what is wrong with this dude, man? Like,
right? But
he always bring it up.
Kendrick Perkins the same one that was like, Jokic is only get MVP because he's white.
Because he's white,
yeah, that's him.
You're a dummy, man. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
You know, he said he blocked. I think something like he blocked Kevin Durant before Kevin Durant blocked him, or something like that. I heard.
Yeah,
right. But again, just like the lady that the video that Bernard showed, right? It doesn't matter if there's any evidence for it. If I feel like it is, then it is. In the absence of evidence, you must go with my emotions because colorism is an emotional argument. There's no evidence basis for it. Outside of the occasion, again, for women, outside of the occasional dude that says, "Oh, I like them light skins and I like them red bones," right? But that same person, again, I guarantee you, is not kicking Kelly Rowland away.
Oh, not at all, sir.
If I had a choice between Bria Miles or Tiny, T.I.'s wife, who we taking, fellas? Who we really taking?
That's an ugly light skinned family.
I have to say we taking Bria because she look like a pig, bro. She's like Miss Piggy.
Did Bria Miles look like a pig?
No,
I said Tiny.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. It has to more do with your aesthetics. It don't really have to do with if you look like Tarana Burke. You can't tell.
Look, I think Pig's a little bit far with Tiny. She looks like Eleanor from the Chipmunks.
She like KRS-One.
Yeah, like if you look like Tarana Burke, like no, niggas are not picking you because you're dark skin. No, because you look crazy. Like
she has no however. She has no however, bro. None. No however. She heartthrob never, black and ugly as ever. She has no however. Like
but the colorist white dude got her apparently.
True.
Colorist white dude got who?
She's married to the white dude, isn't she?
Who you talking about now? I thought you were talking about
married to
Toronto
a
Burke.
black man.
Was it black dude or white dude?
No, Toronto Burke. Toronto Burke is married to a black dude.
Yes,
Black
a
dude. My
black
bad.
dude.
My bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
he needed somewhere to live, bro. Ain't no way.
And
Man,
you know what's
come on.
funny? If you could highlight what Ange A said, she said Korean man was trying to get at me, weirded me out, and I don't know why. There's certain subgroup of black women that will never date outside their race. Not all, but there's a certain subset. But then they complain about black men being colors. It's like you're kind of limiting your options. You might as well, it's like if I'm a nerdy dude. I can't be.
Dude, you said you ain't got to sell the crystalline Kerosene argument to her. I mean, hey, like what you talking?
I ain't gonna lie. Like to me, we need more diversity in this world because my girl is look like Zendaya with green eyes. We need more mixed women in this world. I'm a proponent for that.
You know what? I'm a proponent for that.
Yeah, but I'm just okay.
Okay,
all right, cool.
I gotta ask the question.
Put it like this:
I gotta ask the question real
if you want to see more Zendaya with green eyes, I mean, well,
green
eyes. Okay, well, no, I was going to give some bad advice. I was going to say, well, let men do the seeding.
Well,
you
ain't gonna get green eyes from an Asian guy. That's chances
but
are
Zendaya's
low.
not gonna mess with a black dude though. So
no, I got a question here.
So how does that benefit you?
Based on the Ange comment, the question just popped in my head. Is it more likely to find a Korean dude with swag or an Indian dude with swag?
Indian.
Either Indian.
No, Korean. No,
Korean.
No,
definitely
he's right.
Korean.
No, Korean and Japanese dudes, they be swagged out. You gotta
dance and
Indians
do all
too, though, bro. Not Native American Indians. I'm talking about Pakistani type.
Yeah. They don't have no swag. No, them Pakistani Indians, they don't have swag. They be nobody want them like that.
I don't know, man. They all in the hood sleeping with your girl for a bag of hot cheese noodles, man. They picking up some.
My girl.
I'm saying in general.
I'm about to say, no, they mess with my chick. Ain't no Pakistani nigga ever taking my chick.
Clue said rooftop Koreans have swag.
Yeah. All right. I'm about to go to L or Lego. I'm gonna give you a chance. I think you got some background noise. I'm gonna give you a chance. We probably was gonna wrap this bad boy up pretty soon, but I'm see if you see what you got to say real quick. You've been waiting for a while. Go ahead, you got it.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. I feel like you guys are being purposefully obtuse. I mean, the reality is there is colorism in the world. People do treat lighter skinned black people better than they treat darker skinned black people.
Say that again, because your audio sound a little bit muffled. So say that again.
I feel like you guys on the show are being purposefully obtuse. Like,
okay.
The reality is lighter skinned people are treated better. I mean, maybe not always better, but differently than darker skinned black people.
You said light-skinned people do better in Uganda than dark-skinned black people?
Are treated differently.
They probably, I'd imagine in Uganda that may be a thing.
Even in America, that is a thing. You can't say there's no thing in America. You had the paperback test.
He might. I mean, Obama.
It was okay. The brown paper bag test was a little while ago.
What do you mean as better? Like, what are they getting better?
Little while ago.
Not necessarily better, but differently.
Okay. So so if it's not better, then how does it colorism?
You have different treatment. Sometimes it's either better, but many is
tall men get treated better than short men.
Yes.
So again, if what we're trying to establish here is colorism denotes that light-skinned receive better treatment or get better accolades or have an easier path than darker skin, right? So if the argument is it's not the fact if they were being treated differently but equally.
No. They're not treated equally. They're treated differently. And light-skinned people are usually treated better.
Damn.
And what
I can understand that.
He said light-skinned people are treated better. I don't see that, man.
Maybe it's shades I can't perceive because
I see all
the references, that I have as you in Uganda from all the from your parliament to your diplomats, they're pretty damn dark.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question. Do you think if you were to go in a club, right, and you were dressed to the T, you were tall, your teeth were white, you were well built as a man, do you think you're gonna have any problems getting a woman, or are you gonna struggle, or women are not gonna treat you as good as a regular light skinned dude?
They'll treat the light skinned dude better, even if everything else being equal.
I just
Assuming
said
we have the same looks, the same
if
dress.
if you hit all the masculine cues of being tall, well built, if your teeth are straight, if you're groomed well and you're dressed well, do you think you're gonna suffer, or are you gonna be in lack of, or women are not gonna treat you differently?
They're not going to suffer, but light skinned guys
Are
are
you
going
gonna?
to have it easier. I'm not saying you're going to suffer. I'm not saying like it's going to be like the end of the
Do you know
world,
that?
but
Do you know
it's going to be harder
there
for.
are black women out here that say they don't want light skinned dudes? Like they always say they want a chocolate man with a beard. Like, you do know that archetype is out there, right?
Yeah, colorism is not. It's not doesn't necessarily also mean like
So, well, my thing is,
just a black man with
if people say, but see, this is what I don't like about
fetishized as a dark
the
skin
thing. It's not about
dude.
fetishize. It's
You're still going
about preference. Like, I love red ones.
Wait,
I
hold on.
love.
See, you see there now. If they like light skinned, he say it's colorism. If they like dark skinned, oh, that's just fetishizing. Like that's exactly what women do. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
And
It's different people have different taste.
I have only been out light skinned one time. I was only with no, for real, like one time. Like most of the time, I'm the guy that's outgoing. I'm the dude that talks to 12 girls at the table to break the ice so me and my guys could talk to her. I've only had one light skinned guy outdo me and have me just frustrated. Like, why you got 8 girls in a circle around him and we ain't getting no love? That's been one time in the 30 years I've been hanging out. You know what I'm saying? It has more to do with confidence than it does with skin tone.
Hey, pardon me, gentlemen. Bernard, I put something in the chat right there. Right? Can you click on that and point out the light skinned person in there?
You want me to click on this?
Yeah, I will say this though.
That's funny. Good one.
Outside of like saying you get treated better or the dating market, it is kind of hard to find a statistical number to prove that light skinned people like get better economics or better,
Yeah, that's the thing. Because
privilege. You have to use the dating market in treatment. Like there's no other type of like evidence really.
And that's the thing. There's so many nuance to that, though.
And that's
cyclical. This is a picture, right? This is a picture of the members of the Ugandan parliament. Can anybody point out the light skinned person in there?
It's like a light brown all the way to the far corner.
It's a light hat at the top, right?
I mean, but either way it go, we like squinting our eyes to see a brown skinned person. So yeah, so point well made.
Yeah.
Point well made. Like, yeah, so that is interesting. That is interesting. I mean, put it like this. I do know that race and color in Africa is probably a more pronounced thing. I know when I dated a chick that was from Kenya, I know she said, I mean, hell, it is a space with a lot of passport bros. So we obviously a white man pull up, that's Western dollars. So obviously he's going to get treated a certain way. So I mean, really, I mean, it sounded like she said it wasn't necessarily about race, but race is typically, I mean, or skin color. Skin color is typically the thing that shows some type of status. Because okay, in Kenya, where everybody is pretty much dark, the person who's walking around as light as patriarchy, that says, okay, somebody not from Kenya came and impregnated your mom. You're still connected to those Western dollars in some type of way, you see.
So Bernard,
so over there it's different, but over here, white dude, he competing for the same job. Okay, statistically they make a little more. Okay, but not really like that to where it's a big societal come up. So over here it's superficial. Over there it may not be as superficial because it's Kenyan shillings versus Western dollars when you see somebody with lighter skin.
Bernard, so I think give you an example.
Go ahead.
Kind of what you're talking about. So when I travel internationally, particularly in Latin America, one of the things I see is because white men stand out more in that environment, they are targeted more for scams, for robberies, for all kinds of to be used for their wealth, even more than people who look like me. So whatever they gain because of their association with quote unquote European power and wealth, they also lose for being so visible that is exactly who they are.
Yeah, I could go over there and blend in and only let them know I got they only gonna know I got Western dollars when I want them to know. Other than that, I'll be
your
talking.
Mouth. Until then, you could just walk down the street.
I'll be having a Wakandan accent until I'm ready to let them know I got that money. But let them know I got that USD. I'm be talking like M'Baku. But anyway,
like M'Baku, bro.
So
but,
can I just
real quick? I want to let let me make sure I got your name correct.
FBA Zulu. You just call me
no. Wait, no, not you're next. I don't know if I cannot see your name, bro. JD something desk. It says cowboy in there somewhere. I can just barely see it.
JJD's a cowboy.
Okay, yeah. I don't think you said anything, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to you, and then go to Zulu, and then we'll probably go ahead.
Well, my name is kind of self-explanatory. My first name James, my last name Smith. Born in '79, I'm a truck driver, and I wear what I wear is my Western attire. But it's prestige with that. I've been all over the United States, the lower 48, which is all the states in the Union connected between Canada and Mexico. Plus, I visited Mexico and Canada, and I've met people of all kinds, good and bad, male, female, of all races, and they call this the melting pot. And I have experienced women of different shades and different ethnicities. I've experienced getting choosing signals, and I don't let it go to my head. But I say this: I can go anywhere in the world and blend in. I just have that way about me. And
what the fuck that got to do with me?
There's a lot of things to our climate in this country, one extreme to the next. You have to adapt, or you won't make it. I can go anywhere. I have a passport, and I don't let nobody shame me for it. Any shaming tactics about any of things I have preferences for, that just let me know what kind of person that is. That's where they're minimized at. But they cannot compete with two things: free will and freedom of choice, and that's where I get peace of mind at on that when I make my.
So let me ask you this: nutmeg or coriander? In an apple pie, do you prefer nutmeg or coriander?
What?
Because what the fuck does any of that have to do with the topic that we're talking about? Here,
like, what's that have to do with the price of tea in China?
You
give your bio? Did you just come up to give your bio?
You was trying to get out. You was trying to get out of order with me, and that's why you choppy.
No, like, dude, like, there's a topic.
Your nature is choppy. I guess that's why
you don't need to hear your bio. There's a topic here.
Honestly, you sound incoherent.
I wasn't talking to you.
Probably drunk, man.
All right.
You probably drunk. That's understandable.
All right, we're gonna go to Zulu FBA Ghost. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing good.
All right. Now, for me, basically, I don't know how other people kind of see the colorism conversation, but basically, how I kind of see it is simple. It's kind of like it's basically like a black woman telling you, like, simply to your face, "I'm trying to fuck that non-black man, and you need to make that possible for me." That's basically when I hear it. That's basically when I hear it, basically, right? Because it's understandable, right, that all men have their preference, right, for what they want for their woman, right? Most men, right? See what I'm saying? Unless you basically the 9 or 10 of any ethnic group, most men are going to basically choose what they want. With basically the woman of their own group, necessarily, right? So unless you a 9 or a 10, so unless you the top pick, right, ain't nobody effing with you. So basically, when you hear chicks say, "Oh, colorism," it's basically a chick that's saying, "I can't get picked. You need to make that possible for me to get picked over there." It's basically what she's telling you. That's like no different than me telling you, "Okay, I'm gonna cut your head off," but I'm gonna dislocate your head from your body. It's the same thing. Yeah, I just worded it in a different manner. That's how I really look at the colorism conversation. Because if you really look like Bria Miles, Bria Miles had plenty of white dudes, bro. Trust me. If you look at her Instagram, bro, she had plenty of white dudes. She ain't suffering, bro. it's just really, you know, she basically telling you, you need to make it possible for me to go over there and swirl, and you know, you need to make that possible. and I can't really see that as a complaint of a black man you really need to take serious. But that's just the reality of it, though.
True. Yeah, and I'll throw this out into the conversation. And Edward Anderson knows, I think, the source of this comment, but a black woman actually said that they would accept as reparations their beauty, their features, skin tone, texture, their standard of beauty. Basically, if white men in this country, and some, I don't know, some collective media psyops, I don't know, made black women the beauty standard, they would accept that as reparations. So yeah, they're that concerned about it. There is that big of a deal. Is that big of a deal? But we are almost at the 3-hour mark. I only meant to do 2 hours today, but the show got a little interesting. So we went a little longer, but we got to wrap this on up and get the hell up out of here. I'd like to thank everybody who supported the stream, everybody who liked, share, subscribe, super chat, cash app, did anything to support the stream anyway, shape or form. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace. We gone.